Hello. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Hi, Candace. Candace Cherry. Hello, welcome. Hi, Red Lotus. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Hi, Jazz. I hope you guys are having a fabulous evening. Thank you for those who are able to hang out and join us. I always appreciate your company. Candace says she couldn't sleep. Hi, Elle Taylor. Hi. And I think, let's make sure the audio is, you know what? The audio might have been very low. Is that better audio, guys? Hi, Emmy. How are you? How's everyone doing? Thanks for hanging out. Well, I know we had such like an eventful, last night. I just hope YouTube updates my numbers and gives them to me because we definitely earned them, rightfully so. I know we all have like snapshots of them, so we'll see. We'll see when they come trickling in, I'm patient about it. I'm patient, totally patient. Oopsie. Thanks, Elle Taylor. I hope so. I think they will. So, Emmy, you doing all right? Hi, Sean. Hi, D90. Hi, Making Lemonade. Hi, Gen Z. Well, I hope everyone is doing wonderful, okay? Hi, Taurus Girl. Hi, Purple Butterfly. Hello. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, and Purple Butterfly, I want to make sure I got your email, okay? I want to make sure. Let's see here. Hold on, guys. Purple Butterfly. Uh-oh. I might have to wait for it to update. I get, sometimes your email inbox, like you get all that other mail that's not important. So I may have to like set up a new email. That way I can like start fresh and like get to those information like faster versus trying to search through the endless updating. So let's access my email for now, okay, guys? That way I can give you guys my attention so we're here live, okay? But I have not forgotten about you, Purple Butterfly. I have not, I promise, okay? But let me make sure that I go through the inbox and clear out like all the junk stuff that's already in there, holding up space. Hi, Amy. How are you? Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thank you. I truly, truly love and adore everyone. You guys matter so much to me, and I'm so forever grateful. And I think the best part of our group experience and our live streams is that we can come together with the highest intent of love and authenticity. We all are here to grow and evolve, right? Grow through higher, consciousness, for conscious ascension. And not just that, but coming together in a safe space where we can all contribute to one another, right? And evolve as a collective. So thank you guys. Yay. So that's how I always see it, guys. I might take off my scarf. Hold on. It's cold in my house, but I like it cold. I like my house cold, guys. It's hot over here in Houston, Texas. Very, very warm. If you guys saw the live stream from yesterday night, I walked outside like in the morning hours and like the whole windows, you know, like I guess like what is it called? You know the when it's cold inside and the humidity outside is like frost up like your glasses or your windows. That's what it looked like. So I keep it nice and cool in my house. Right? Making lemonade? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Hi, Jonathan Mendoza. How are you? Yay. And yes, I'm making lemonade. I have not forgotten about you. We will definitely, condensation, thank you. That was the word. That is the word. Yes, we do. Absolutely. And we will do a collaboration too, okay? I want to make sure I put my little notes. That way I arrange it in advance, okay? I want to make sure I'm checked in on a couple things here. Because I like to remember, guys, I'm very detail oriented, okay? So I don't want to forget that. Okay. All right. I don't want to forget those ideas, guys, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Oh, good Lord here. The party can start. Josh B is here. That almost rhymed. That almost did, guys. It almost rhymed. Not quite, but it almost rhymed. And guys, don't forget, I'm trying so hard to get my 4,000 hours of watch time in. I can't watch my own videos because I guess they don't allow that. So if I had the chance to, I would make my own self watch my own videos, but I can't do that. They won't allow that. So I am counting on you guys to help a sister out here. Put me in the background. Help me at least get to the hours. I don't remember exactly how far I'm away, but it's reasonable and it's so doable, okay? And yeah, just put me in the background. You don't have to actually listen the whole time if you don't want to, guys, because you're probably already here with me. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. So yeah. Yeah, and so, yeah, I know last night into the morning hours, Oni was so kind. He was here supporting me. He brought in a lot of his like friends from Instagram. So I know they were in here. We took them on the list for the readings and stuff. So I know they were here. They were real people. So I'm hoping that YouTube at least, I don't know, updates properly or adequately. But even if it doesn't, guys, I'm not worried. I know for sure we will get there. So I'm not too concerned, but I know that you guys are probably wondering. I was wondering the same thing all day. Couldn't figure it out. We have all the screenshots, I think, right? We have all the screenshots to verify that we did hit those numbers, but sometimes it's kind of like finicky, guys, with glitches. I don't know. There's been other times in the past where certain live streams I'll get more subscribers, like, I don't know, 20 or 30, and I won't get them. I won't actually, they'll show up at one point, and then I'll look the very next day and they're not there anymore. And I know they were real people because I saw them in here. So I don't know if there's like some kind of algorithm with YouTube and they do certain things to make sure that channels at this size aren't gaining too fast. I don't know, guys. So don't feel bad. We will get there. Even if we have to do it over, above, and beyond, I'm okay with that, all right? Sean says I broke YouTube. What can I say? I just wanted to address that because I don't want anyone to think that we lost those people we gained. I don't know. I went into my analytics several times today, but there's no place to contact or call YouTube. They don't have those options available, and so they're probably not going to care about me asking for my subscribers back. So guys, hang in there. We'll get there. We're going to get there. We will get there. Well, because we were celebrating yesterday's live stream that went into the morning. because we actually totally, you know, did hit 1,000. We had hit 1,001. I have the proof, but I don't know. So I'm not too worried. I mean, I'd like to know what happened, but I probably won't get an answer. So, hey, in life, you got to roll with the punches, all right? And as long as you keep being you, and as long as we keep being us, we will get there, you know? That's just my mentality. Aw, thanks, Chancy. Happened the same thing with your channel, Lemonade, did it? I don't know what it means, though. Oh, yeah, we got this, we got this, we got this. Josh Breeze showing us his strength. Yay. Making Lemonade, do you know, where are you at with your channel? Do you know how many you have? You know, I'm always here to support other content creators and help everyone get over like those like benchmarks. And yeah, it's important we do that, to celebrate, help each other, and encourage each other to help get us over those little marks, right? Hi, Tattoo Girl. We gotta roll with the punches, guys. That's how it goes. And that's for any in life, right? You can work so hard like on a project. You can do good at work. It doesn't always mean that because you don't get acknowledged, or because it doesn't go as planned or as expected, it doesn't mean that you did not do the right thing, or it doesn't mean that you didn't put in all your effort. It's just sometimes things do go down that way that are beyond like our really like common sense. They defy logic. Sometimes it doesn't even make any sense, right? So I just want to show you guys that it's okay, whatever's happening, but it is how you carry forward, okay? You got to have that, you know, spark, that internal drive, and keep going, okay? Am I buffering, guys? Am I buffering? I hope not. Am I buffering though? I'm good? Okay, I'm like, oh, I think it was buffering, but okay. Maybe Candace, can you check your Wi-Fi to make sure? Okay, I'm okay. So I don't know if it was or wasn't. Okay, guys. Either way, it happens on the, you know, internet, the Wi-Fi. This is the internet, guys. Yay. Okay. So just a reminder, guys, Sean is here tonight. He wasn't here last night when we needed him the most, but he was here. He's here tonight, and he did create the Discord. What is it called? The app link, whatever this is called, the Discord link. And so, and he was so kind to already go in there. So, hi, St. Robbie, welcome. Hello, my dear. Good to see ya. So we created a Discord, guys, for our group on Discord, I guess. And Sean was so kind to help me do that. And he, as you go in there, he's gonna make the moderators. That way we get everybody in properly, okay? Because last night we sent out the link, but not everyone has had a chance to actually download the app and then go in there. So if you haven't done so, I do recommend you do that if you want to. No obligation, but oh. Let's see here. One. Yay. All right, save Robbie. I know he's always in and out, but I wanted to make him a moderator on my channel because he was so kind to make me a moderator on his channel. So if he's still here, I know he's a Gemini, so he pops in and out, guys, all right? That's how Geminis operate, and I know that. But yay. So for those, you know what, Sean, while we're in here talking about Discord, can we put the link in the actual chat? That way for those who haven't seen the link before, let's get them in there. Hang out with us, guys. I think it's a great way for us to just have a group conversation. Again, it's a safe place. This is nothing I run the channel with the highest integrity. It's a safe place to come. We are, obviously, you can tell by being in this whole live from experience that we're here for the betterment of each and every one of us, right? We are growing as a collective. We're here to help support each other, promote each other, and be there for each other as a collective, okay, for humanity. So thank you, Sean, for getting the link up there. So for those who've not yet have entered their information to our Discord link, it's there. It's not a requirement. If you don't want to do so, there's no obligation, guys. If you do, then I would love to see you there, because we do talk as a group and it's kind of cool, you know? Yay. And then once you're in the Discord, Sean is so kind to help us out and actually put, I guess, like, what is it called, Sean? Like moderators who are here will be one of those in that link or in that application. So yay! And we have different chat rooms, guys. We have a general one for everybody, and we have one for the moderators in case I have to like give an announcement. That's all. Super simple, guys. All right. Super simple. I have one, but what? Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Sean. So with the Discord, the coolest thing that I found about it was that you, beyond just like the text chat here, we actually have a voice function. Now I'm new to that thing, guys, so bear with me, but we did test it out and it was pretty cool, very cool. So we can also all be like, we can hear everyone's voice. And I feel like that's kind of cool because we don't know what everyone sounds like. It's kind of nice to put a tone, a sound, the sound vibration to a face or to, you know, a name. So, yay! Thank you, say Robbie. You're so sweet. Well, we thought we had hit 1,000 subscribers last night. Well, no, we did actually. Let's be fair. We did hit 1,000 subscribers. But I guess YouTube has some weird glitches, guys. I don't know. Maybe it has to validate the people who had recently subscribed to my channel. But we're patient. We're going to get through it. Either way, we're super, super close. Yay. Hi, Tabitha. It's so good to see you. I needed my Scorpios back in here. Thanks for joining and saying hi. And don't forget, I'm not sure if you're just joining in right now, we did create a Discord. Sean was so sweet to help me set up Discord so that we have a general one for all of us here to hang out and chat. And there's the text and the voice. And then we have a separate one for the moderators so we can all like be on the same page, because I want to make sure we're all in a loving space, okay? Yay! Nice new avatar. What does that mean by an avatar? What does that mean? When I think of the word avatar, I think of like there's a movie called Avatar. Isn't there a movie? Yes. And guys, okay, there's some kind of movie where they're blue. The bodies, the people, it's like a cartoon movie. They're like kind of caricatures. They're blue, right? Has anyone seen that movie? Or no? Maybe I'm by myself on this. Am I by myself on this, guys? No one's seen that? Okay, thank you, Sean. Somebody has seen this movie. It's a movie. Is it called Avatar? Maybe that is the name of it. But on that topic, guys, that's a real scenario that I want to talk about, because in that movie, when they go to sleep in that like little container bed or whatever it is, when they're sleeping, they're in a whole other, like a new world while they're asleep. And that's kind of what happens to us when we go to bed and we're in the dream world. And I will highlight that and talk about that a little bit. Maybe tonight, maybe not. But either way, yeah, it's a movie, right? Okay. Yay. So Sean, did you put the link up there? That way everybody who's joining can have access to that? Yeah, like the Matrix? Yes. Yes. Thank you. Now, Sean, how does it work? So everyone joins the general link, right? And then you go through and you make everybody who is a moderator, you move them to this other, well, how does that work? They have access to both? Well, you'll know, I guess, based on here, right? How to get that over? Counting on you, Sean. Red Lotus. She says, Katrina, you are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I'll mod the mods. Okay. I'll mod the mods. Thank you, Sean. It's always nice to have a team. We'll say, Robbie, just download the app. Now, it's not a distraction. I know you earlier talked about distraction, but it's still a great way to actually like just have an easier way to communicate with a mass amount of people at one time without being like in a live stream or without all that other stuff. So it's pretty cool. I'm learning it, so bear with me, guys. I'm still new to it. Yeah, I'm learning it. It's not that complicated. Like it's like any other app, but you know what I mean, guys? It's always a working process. I have to figure it out myself. I'm working on it to like get better at it, but of course I'm nowhere near perfect. So, yay. 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 Okay, yeah, I think it's good. It's working, right? The link, does the link work? Can someone click the link and make sure it does work, guys? Those emojis are so cute, guys. They're cute emojis. Thanks, Amy, for hanging out. Thank you. Yay. Yay. Thank you, Sean. Zoom calls. Ooh. I can surely take them, yes. I can take a Zoom call from here, literally like right here. If you call me from Zoom to here, yeah. It'll be your voice unless you want your image and video. So it's up to you. The link does work. Now, if you could use the same name from YouTube to there, that way we know it's the same person, right? So yeah, Robbie, do you want to call in on Zoom? Let me know. Let a sister know. Let a sister know. Okay, making sure my phone's charging. Yay! All right. So yeah, I mean, if Robbie wants to call in, making Lame can call in. Anybody else wants to call in? Now, I don't have it set up at this current stream for the actual because whenever you do a Zoom or you're on the actual, or was it Zoom? I don't know. Well, either way, I'll get the notification here. So, yay! Yes, tell us. We all want to hear about it, okay? We do. So say Robbie can call first and then Making Lemonade can call second in, all right? So while he's preparing, and now say Robbie, I don't know if I have the video camera set up in this broadcast and I don't want to like get out and go back in again, but we can absolutely hear your voice. So that's for sure, because we had Oni do that yesterday. We heard him clearly, right, guys who are here? We heard him very clearly. So if you guys are okay with his voice coming in, then we're good to go. That I don't have to like actually have a new broadcast. I can use the same broadcast. Okay, yay! So yeah, that's easy. That I don't have to do any kind of like adjustments. All right, so while they're getting ready, all right, I will just quickly go over the subconscious mind as our topic, super fast. And then after I do that topic, we'll let them call in. And then if people want to hang out and do some readings, we'll totally do that. All right, guys? I'm flexible, easy to work with. We're going to have a good time. We're a family. We're here to support each other. What's the info to call in? No info. You just call me on Zoom and I pick it up here from the phone. So if you have, so the way that Zoom works is if you have my information, you just connect with me and I hit yes, and then we can all hear you. So do you guys have Zoom already? Because that's how it worked last night and it was super simple. I didn't make any adjustments. If I use Google Hangouts, I think I have to, I think I'd make a whole new broadcast. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Well, we'll have Robbie try it first. And we'll see how all he has to do, Robbie, do you have Zoom though, Robbie? Do you have Zoom, Robbie? Do you have do I have a what? Okay. Hi, Life of MC. Do you have a what? A call-in? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Candace, can you explain that again? Candace, Sherry, can you read? I don't know what that means. All right. Got my script. And we're good. All right, guys. All right. And before I forget, guys, you have Zoom? Okay. So it's so simple. See, with Zoom, and if it works with Google Hangouts, hey, I'm open to try it. All you have to do is call me from Zoom. So as long as you add me as a contact in Zoom, when you call in, I just hit yes here on the computer, and we all hear you, like we heard Oni last night. Very simple, easy. I didn't do any new broadcasting. It was the same live stream. Whereas last time I had to like stop, restart. So yes. Now, when I get better and more efficient, guys, I will find a way to make it even more streamlined, okay? Until then, we gotta make it work. Okay. All right. Yay. Thank you, Sean. Guys, if you're just joining in, can we give me a thumbs up, please? I really appreciate that. Okay. Yay. Thanks, Red Lotus. And it was so great seeing you in Judy Ron's live stream. I love me some Judy Ron. He said he was joining, him and Joy from Brooklyn, but who knows? They probably got tired. I got sort of late. But speaking of them, I did promise to help put his link on here. Judy Ron is here. Oh my gosh, I didn't think you were here. I didn't think you were here, but great. Guys, I really, really am committed to helping people get over the little hump, right, when it comes to subscribers and, yeah, their subscriber base. And Joy from Brooklyn, he may not be here now, and we still promote his channel, but I really want to help him. He's so close to getting over to 1,000 subscribers. Just like me, I did hit 1,000, but, you know, YouTube has its own little thing sometimes, guys, but let's really help support. Oh, hi, you're here till 6 a.m.? Even better. Let's really help. Let's place Joy from Brooklyn, his link in here. And if you guys have not already subscribed to Joy from Brooklyn, please do so. Let's take a moment to do this, okay? It's so important that we really, truly help support other content creators who are doing whatever they can do to get to that next level. All right, guys? So I did, let's put his link in here if we can. And in case, thank you guys. So let's place his link. And then also For those who have not already subscribed to Duty Run, let's also place his link. And if not, I can help do it too, guys. Hold on. Hold on. I can do it too. Yay. All right, let's see here. I got the links. I got the links. I got the links. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Duty Ron. Duty Ron says Katrina's adorable. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get Prince George Brooklyn. I already have him saved in here. He did change his name from the number one. So he's so close. Let's see. Duty Ron, do you know his number? It says here on this. Now, again, YouTube can be a little weird with how it shows you like their numbers. It shows me here 931, but you never know if it's accurate, guys. Do you see that? Look. Yeah. What was it at earlier? Okay, that is right. Okay. Guys, he's so close to 1,000, okay? He's so close, okay? Is it okay? His link is up there. Let's see. Yay. Okay. Yes, guys. So if you have not done so by now, I'm sure people who are here at this moment probably have, but just in case, guys, let's make sure that we do take that moment, guys. If you haven't already done so, let's subscribe to those who are here. They always show up here to help us all out. Hi, Kylie. Let's support those guys who are trying to get over to that next position with their subscribers, okay? So if anybody has not already done so, subscribe to Save Robbie, subscribe to Duty Ron. I want to help get Joy from Brooklyn close. He's so close already, guys. He's so close. And if you know, if you have a channel, it means everything to get those little, every single number really makes a big difference, okay? Yes, Robbie. I called you last time on it, on the Zoom. Oh, you're here. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here, guys. Let's double check here. Oh, yes, say Robbie. Let me make sure I add you as a friend on Zoom. Yes. Let's do that real quick for sure. That way, once you're in there, that I can just hit yes. Contacts. Let me add you from here. It's easier sometimes through my own phone, and then we can do it from there. I thought Duty Ron fell asleep, guys. I didn't think he was here, but it's so nice for him to be here. I did tell Joy from Brooklyn to come in, but I know he's probably asleep too, which is okay. We know we always promote everybody, whether they're asleep or not, sunshine or nighttime, we're here. All right, let's see. Yep. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Thanks for being patient. Contacts. Okay, yes, enable that. That's what, okay, enable, yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Almost there, guys. So I'm here, guys. Sorry. I'm here. I'm here. Yes. Yay. And calling in, you could do it, you don't have to be on the camera. You can just be your voice. So people don't have to feel uncomfortable to be on camera. That's not necessary, guys, okay? You can simply just call in with your voice, okay? Yay! All right, so. See here, okay, let's see. So I have the contacts in here now. I have my phone contacts finally now up in here, which is nice. Enter someone's email from the Zoom. I'll enter, say Robbie's email. So hold on, guys. So making lemonade, I have to have your email too if you want to call in, okay? I'll need your email. I already have Robbie's email though. Unless I don't have yours. I don't have yours, lemonade. I don't. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm not neglecting the chat. I'm still here. All right. Have this email here. Copy. All right. Paste. All right, Robbie, I sent you an email to like an invitation. Oh, wait, you have a different one then? Okay, so I sent it to your other one then. The Gmail, not the Gmail then? Hold on then. I can change it. I can change it. Hold on. All right, copy and paste this one. So let me add the new email here. But I do have you in this way, but I can always update your email, okay? Oh no, I think it's in there now. I think it's on its own. I think it did. I see you in here. Okay, now let me make sure it's up here on this piece, guys. All right, I think that looks like it's here. So it looks good to me. Let's see. We totally want to hear about Robbie's story, guys, right? Yay. All right, guys, hold on. Make sure this is off. My other screen over here is off. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yay! Okay, I wanted to make sure my internet was not on over there, guys. Okay. Yeah, Robbie has a story to share with us. Yeah, we'll do the list. We will begin the list for the names for the readings after we have our call-ins. That way, we don't like make a list that people don't plan to stick around for. All right. So. Katrina will say, okay, yes. Yep. All right. So this looks legit, like it's all working to me. It looks real. Yeah, Red Lotus, he's calling. Ready? We hear him, right? We all hear? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can the chat hear Robbie?
Okay, let me turning you down on my, there we go. All right, we good?
I can hear you. Let's ask the chat. Can the chat hear Robbie? Let's wait. Let's see. Yes, they said yes, they can totally hear you. Yes, it's a big yes. Okay.
Sorry, it took me a minute because I had called you, what was it, last week? And I thought you had saved into that Zoom application, but you weren't in there, so it was confusing.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I know. It was. I'm sorry. It was confusing that day.
But anyways, sorry, it took me a while because my mom just was texting me because someone close to us just passed away. But, so about my story.
Yes.
It's really odd because it happened yesterday at work. And I was, as you know, I'm a bus driver. I was driving a route and this older man gets on my bus and he has a walker. And he asked me, he says, I need to go to detox. And so I told him, I said, okay, well, I don't know where any detox places are around here. Do you know where one's at? He tells me where he needs off. The exact stop is off 13th. I won't say the exact location, but off 13th.
Yes.
And he goes to pay, he has like maybe a couple of coins. It seemed like he was homeless. And so I told him, don't worry about it. Just take a seat. He takes a seat directly behind my driver's seat. And he sits there with his walker, which takes up a lot of space. And so, I mean, normally when someone gets off the bus and they're in a walker, they get off the front because we have the ramp up there and everything. And so I'm driving. I get to 13th and I have a mirror where I can see the passengers the entire time. So I can see if they're exiting out the front or the back. I get to 13th. I turn around to tell him because he's not coming up to the front. I turn around and he's gone. And I look like a crazy person. I'm like, what the heck? So I get up, put the parking brake on, I walk through the whole bus, and there's a bunch of passengers on there, He's not there anymore. So I'm driving, and as I'm driving at every stop, I'm looking back. I'm like, where the heck did this dude go? So finally, I'm almost to my end terminal, And I look over at these passengers who have headphones on and they're looking down at their phone, but they were sitting directly across from the seat that he was in. And I asked them, I'm like, excuse me, did you guys see the guy with the walker right there? Did you see like where he went? Which I already know, I'm going crazy, but I would have seen him get off the bus. Yeah. They look at me and they're like, oh, I don't know. But their heads were in their phone anyways. And I have no idea where this dude went. So I'm like, am I crazy or did I see a ghost? So I wanted to ask you what you thought about it.
Gosh, okay. Well, instantly, so if you really believe that you didn't see him get off the bus, right?
Absolutely. Look, I've been doing this job for 12 years. I know, especially when it comes to an ADA passenger that either needs assistance or help or someone who's asking me to get off at a specific stop, it programs in my brain. And I know that's where I need to let this person off and let them know, their stop is there if they don't know. And I mean, it's mind boggling to me. And I was talking to one of my coworkers. I'm like, what the heck? What do you think? Like, and she just thought I was crazy.
Well, I don't think that's crazy. It could be, if you really believe that you saw that person, and this guy did not get off, because of course, if he's in a wheelchair, it'd be almost, hard to miss this taking place, right? So your logical brain knows, well, this man I had to have noticed him get off the train or the bus.
Right.
And did you, did you ask the guys or the people that were in front of him, or no, you didn't ask?
No, I did ask the people that were sitting there.
And what'd they say?
They said they didn't see a guy. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. But their face was down in their phone the whole time and they had headphones in. But it's just strange to me because even when he got on, and I had asked him, where he needed off and stuff. And when he was asking about the detox, I even asked him, I was like, how's your night going? And he's like, not so good. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. So we actually had a little conversation and I remember exactly what he looks like and everything. And I'm just like, what? It's impossible for him to have walked down the aisle through the back door too. And I would have seen him because I would have opened the back door for him. And I don't think his walker would have fit down the aisle because it was pretty large.
No, I'm hearing you out. So, what the most natural thing, the most common natural thing when those kind of situations take place is that this is like when somebody dies in the physical plane, but their body, they have not fully crossed over or crossed on, because it wouldn't be like a spirit guide at all. And it wouldn't be like it didn't come across based on the story that you're sharing, like it's a negative entity, but it does come across like what I would call like a neutral person who is obviously no longer with us, right? As a person, they're not here in the body. However, a lot of the times, human beings when they die, either A, they don't accept that they have died, or B, they don't want to leave, right? They kind of wander and they're lost. Whether they know they're lost or not is irrelevant because we can't control where they're going to go, where they're going to hang out at. They just they usually will be around areas where there's a lot of energy. So a train or a bus has a lot of people, so they kind of feel comfortable hanging around like other people because they feel they fit in, right? They're like, oh, well, I'm like somebody else. They want to feel like that physicality again, even though they don't have it completely. And then those who are more spiritually inclined or perceptive in different ways will notice them. And you could absolutely have conversations with them, just like the ones that you just explained and expressed to us. So I would think, from my own interpretation and from my own personal experiences, I've had many neutral spirits that are not here to hurt anyone, but they're just taking up space. And you will find them oftentimes in big cities or in more crowded, populated areas. Or sometimes they just so say if you have them in your house, for example, it doesn't mean your house is unsafe. Either A, they have like affinity toward your house or your place, or they have affinity to a neighborhood and they just pick up on people who are more open and receptive to it because they do want to be acknowledged. And the moment that we acknowledge them, they want to stay. Because think about it, like even as human beings and the physical incarnation while we're here alive today, if we want to be acknowledged too, and so again, they want to be acknowledged too, and they'll try to carry on very small talk, just to feel that human connection, the human interaction. So that's my thoughts. That's how I feel about it. But what do you think after what I'm saying? Like, does that resonate with you, or what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I honestly didn't know what to think. And the first thing that came to mind once I got to my end terminal was I immediately wanted to call our dispatcher on the radio and say, and they would have thought I was crazy, so I didn't. We have cameras all over that bus, and we have audio and video, so we can pull up anything that happens. And I'm so tempted to ask them and give them, the time and the bus number and the route and everything, and be like, can you please pull up the video and see what happened to this guy? But, usually when we request that, it has to be for like a valid reason, or if an incident happened. But to me, this was kind of an incident. Like, I want to know what the heck happened to this guy. Because the main worry that I had was that he was asking to go to a detox when he got on my bus. So my main concern was, oh my God, did he fall down? Is he under a seat? But then again, there was no walker. There was no body. There was nothing. When I got to the end terminal, there was nobody on the bus at all.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would not be opposed to going to them and asking them for the security like camera footage. Like I would do that. That would be up my alley. I would go and pursue it. Even if you go get it, you might not get what you want to see in it. You might get it. It's possible for sure. It's also possible he might not show up in the camera.
Well, I know 100%. I know that if I did ask them to pull the camera, I know 100% that he did not exit my bus. Right. I know that for a fact. He could, unless he pushed a freaking emergency window and he tuck and rolled out the window, that is the only way he could have done it without me seeing. But, I mean, that didn't happen. And, if somebody saw him jump out a window, they would have said something to me. I had like 20 people on my bus.
Yeah. I think that he's for sure like on that bus because he feels like it's a place where I don't want to say it's comfortable for him, because like how could the bus be comfortable? But from an energetic standpoint, a lot of times you'll see like in like terminals, CTA, like train stations, bus kind of a lot of like foot traffic. Usually like train stations and like they're not like lower, but they're like either underground sometimes, not always, right? Or there are a lot of people who don't need to fixate on people, and so they hang around there because they're less likely to be questioned. If they're going to hang around someone's house, it's going to be more likely that someone at home is going to know there's somebody here, right? Whereas in a bus or a train or a terminal or a place like that, they're going to be able to get by and still have that interaction. So even if he might show up on camera, I mean, he probably was totally,
Can I address something in the chat really fast?
Yes,
that Antimone Lane, they're asking how old he looked to me, and he looked to be maybe in about his early 60s. He had a gray beard, he had a bald head, just on the top, and the rest on the sides was, salt and pepper. He was real thin build. He looked sick. He seemed intoxicated, but I couldn't smell alcohol on him. So I don't know. It was just very, very strange, and I was freaking out all night.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out more. I don't care if he was a ghost. That's not what I'm freaking out about. And I did see Antimone ask, or somebody did in the chat, if I had experienced something like this before. And that's what we addressed when I called in last time, my experiences.
Yeah.
So the ghost part didn't scare me. Just the part that was bugging me and freaking me out was, why didn't I see this dude get off the bus? Like, am I going crazy? Because these other people didn't see him. Yeah. And that has never happened to me on the bus before, ever. I always see when they get off.
Yeah. I mean, so I feel like he wanted to connect with you, not for a larger, longer purpose, but I think that he was seeking that connection,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, from our last discussion, you're someone who's very, tapped into energetics of all kinds. You had went through several different type of experiences, several different type. And so I feel that they will, communicate or try to connect, right? Or try to have some kind of interaction without making it like so evident they're like a ghost, or I don't use the word ghost, but some kind of entity or a person who's no longer here. They do want connection, and they will try to get it without pressing the boundaries too far. They make it just enough so you notice, like, that was odd, like very, very odd. So I think for sure he was on there on that bus, or and he feels that's his place where he's gonna hang around for a while. He might come back, and talk to you again.
So you know what like an empath is, right? Like somebody who feels other people's pain and stuff.
Yes.
I feel like I've been like that my whole life, because I'll get anxiety just for somebody else, or I don't feel like physical pain, but when I'm around people that are just in a bad mood or stressed out, or I can even come before they tell me that they're in a bad mood, and I'll just feel jittery and like, uneasy. And then they'll be like, yeah, I'm having a horrible day. And I feel energies off of people. I really do.
Yeah.
So is it possible, if you're an empath, that you also see visions of like imprints or something?
Well, I would say yes and no. So, and being empathic and being an empath is one section, but I feel like if I'm seeing imprints and energetics, I would take that one more step beyond that. So I don't want to just say it's exclusivity. You know what I mean? Being an empath would be clearly so. But usually a lot of these elements and these traits and these gifts and these experiences are usually coupled. They're never usually just singled out. But it's important to actually single them out, so that way you know the difference of each piece of yourself, of what's happening, and then you can bring them together and like use all of your perceptive abilities to understand the larger, bigger picture. But I would not say just exclusively if you're an empath that you would see imprints. I would not necessarily say that interchangeably, but I would say that it's more likely you'd have other elements and other pieces of perception to be able to take in more information. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, naturally, I'm a very, like, even if how people say, oh, don't go to bed angry. I can go to bed in a bad mood or in a sad mood or just annoyed. And something in me just automatically refreshes me the next morning. And I just wake up in a brand new, like really good mood the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm always naturally in a pretty darn good mood, but I can just get around people and they don't even have to say anything. And I just get that weird jittery, when you're really nervous or really annoyed and you just get like tense and kind of shaky. That's how I feel around people that are really upset.
Yeah. That makes sense though. That makes sense for, I would say for sure that you're an empath and you're empathic. I think there's more beyond that for you. I do, based on the other things that you've shared. But yeah, absolutely, for sure, I believe that you are empathic, that you're an empath. You can feel the other people's emotions. You can pick up on their energies, which will give you more guidance on how to kind of like proceed with caution around them. You know what I mean? And
well, making lemonade, she just nailed it. She said empaths are emotional sponges, and that's exactly what it feels like. And I can even get positive energy off people and like soak it in. So that's a good way to put it.
It is. And so, but at the same time, I do. So that's a real example, a real analogy that does happen. Now, I do urge people who are either extremely empathic or who have elements of being empathic to not allow themselves to be an emotional sponge, because that can actually take away from you versus giving back to you. So I know I've had these requests to do videos about the different elements and then like how to manage the energies in that, because sometimes we don't know why people feel drained or people feel like something's taking over their mood or their emotional state. So
what you just said, Katrina, I mean, that really just hit me. How you said it's draining. And because I can, like my ex, for example, when he would be in a really bad mood, I could be in a really good mood, and it would just, I just felt like, oh God, my whole day is ruined. Not because he wasn't treating me bad or anything like that, but he was just in a bad mood, even leaving me alone. And I would just feel like my whole day was ruined. Yeah. I just felt crappy. All I wanted to do was sleep, and just, so it is exhausting when you feel other people's energy. And, you know, without that, I'm not saying without him I was better, because he's a great person. But when I'm not around that, when I'm by myself, I stay in a good mood all day long.
Yes.
Completely by myself.
Me
and
too.
I'm not saying I'm a hermit, but I just do, because I keep myself happy, and I do things that make me happy.
Me too. Which makes me more of like a loner kind of person, but that's okay. So I totally get you, because but I had to learn over time, over many years, how to protect my own energetics with a bubble and a shield. And that's a process in itself. It takes time to learn, but it could be done. That way you build your shield bigger, stronger. And so when you have to go in the world to do whatever it's going to do, you will be less likely to be shaken off your rocker. You'll be less likely to be rattled by other people's problems, emotions. That's why I can come on the camera here, show up night after night, take on what's happening with the collective energies, and still bring forth the highest vibration. That did not happen overnight. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of me knowing who I am as an energetic being, not just knowing awareness-wise, not just consciousness-wise, an emotional way. So it's all encompassing, right? You have to be able to build your inner self before you can go help other people. When it comes to a lot of the things that are happening in the world, right? So it takes time, but it can be done. And by no means am I saying to take on the world. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, yeah, there's many times where I would just be a loner, not because I didn't want to like interact. I just liked the fact that I can entertain myself, have so much fun by myself, do things that I like to do, and not have to worry about the world. So I totally get that piece. But yes, when you're an empath, it can be dangerous to be an emotional sponge. So I totally jive with what you're saying here. At the same time, that could be dangerous, because being an emotional sponge, even though it has its benefits, it absolutely has, I would say, sometimes, if not properly understood and managed, it could have more detrimental effects to a human being, okay? Not the gift itself is not negative, but because no one shows people, no one like explains what's happening, how to protect yourself, how to shield yourself, how to build yourself up. Because that information is not available, it could be more negatively affecting people, draining us of our energy, taking away rather than giving back. So even if you find that you can pick up on positivity, which is great, it's more likely, just because the human being, how the human race is, it's more likely we'll take on too much negativity rather than taking on the positivity. Does that make sense? Do you resonate with that?
Absolutely. And I don't know if Making Lemonade was going to call in or not. I didn't want to take too much time if another caller was. But one thing, I love people. I love being around people. I love communicating with people. Like Gemini, that's one of our main things, is we love to communicate. True. And some of my biggest pet peeves are people who cannot communicate correctly. And also, I cannot stand being around somebody that's a pessimist. A consistent pessimistic person, because I mean, it makes sense now that you're explaining what an empath is, because I've heard the term and I kind of knew what it was, but the way you're explaining it is perfect, Katrina, because if I'm around a pessimistic person, it doesn't matter if I know them or not. I get so annoyed and upset and just like, I can't even think a positive thought in my head when I'm around them, because any positive thing that you say to these people, they immediately knock it down. Yes. And it just, it's one of the most annoying things in the world to me.
It's very annoying. It's very annoying. And so the reality is that we cannot, so the reality is we have to accept that if you have that ability or that gift or that process that's affecting your life, it's important to, number one, know that way you can work on elements to build up the other piece of yourself, right? Because you can't be one-sided, okay? Otherwise, it'll take you out of the game too long and take you completely, it can knock you off so far that now that's controlling you, and that's not appropriate. Your soul deserves better. Who you are inside doesn't need to be controlled and manipulated by the outside world or other people's energies, right? And then sometimes it lasts for a long time, whether it's a day or a couple hours. Either way, now their energy is dominating your vibration, right?
Well, yeah, because if I'm around those type of people, I'm like, I can't wait to get away from them, because I know as soon as I do, I will feel much better. And I am like, I'll get away from them and be like, oh my God, that was just annoying. And I'm not talking about people that are going through bad things, or they have a reason to be sad, or, logical reasons. I'm talking about people that they go through their everyday life pointing out everything that's wrong. And like nothing can be right. And it's not even like big, huge things. Most of the time it's small little things that aren't even that damaging at all. And these people can just find the negative in anything. And no matter what you do to try to point out the good, they're just like, oh, no. And it stresses me out so much. My whole body gets tense, and my back, even talking about it, my body gets tense.
I know. But as you're talking about it, the good thing is that you're learning more about it, and you're actually recognizing what's happening, so you can actually transmutate that energetic, okay? So even if it's happening and you don't like what's happening, here is my best advice to anybody, right? That anybody, even if you're not very empathic, if you're in a situation and you do not like the vibration or what's being spoken or what's being said, whether it's on the mental plane or the emotional plane or anything, right? Energetics, what you can do in that moment is, first of all, breathe if you can, and then remind yourself is, you know what? I don't like this. No, you don't say it out loud, okay? But you tell yourself, I don't like this, and it's okay, I don't like it. And I'm not going to let this take too much control, but I'm going to at least acknowledge within myself that I don't like it. So it's very important to acknowledge with your own self that you don't like what's happening, because see, when we just want to resist it, human beings, we want to naturally avoid, which makes sense. Oh, if I don't like someone's personality, I want to run the way, let me get out of the house. Now, sometimes that could work. Okay, fine. But you're not always, afforded that opportunity to just run out the door. So sometimes you're forced to be in some kind of like situation where you can't just like escape, okay? And honestly, in life, you don't want to learn to escape. You want to learn to like transmute it. That's how you build your power up. But here's what's happening, or here's how to do it. So in that moment, there's somebody in my awareness that I don't like. All right. I do make sure I breathe, and not shallow breathing, like what I call equal inhale, equal exhale. That's a deep breathing, rhythmic breathing. Once I've got my breathing under control, all right, you know what? What's going on here? What's going on here is I don't like this energy, and it's totally pissing me off. Well, why is it pissing me off? Well, because they have a very negative vibration, or they're being so negative about their life, or they're not looking at the bigger picture. Whatever is happening, right? Whether it's deeply or shallow, whatever it is, I talk myself through it, and then I talk myself through it. They don't have to know I'm talking about it, but I talk myself through this, okay? And I'm like, okay, I do not like what they're saying, but I have to acknowledge what it is. So I don't just let myself say I don't like them, because that is not helping me transmute it, okay? I have to identify what specifics I don't like. So let's pretend somebody's here and they're like like I've had people I know in my life who are I would call like a Debbie Downer. Like no matter what you tell them, no matter what you tell them, they can't even hear you, because all they see is one way.
That reminds me of that character from Saturday Night Live, Debbie Downer. Have you ever seen her?
No, I don't watch TV.
Oh God, you've got to look it up on YouTube. Okay. I'll text you the link to it, because it's hilarious. Like this lady, they can be in Disney World, and this lady just comes up with the most vulgar, vile things that could be wrong, like with wherever she goes. But so that kind of brings me on to another point. And then making lemonade, I can't remember what your first name is. I think you said it before, but wait, can I conference in? Oh yeah. I don't mind if she conferences in. Do you want her to conference in, Katrina?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it though. But yes.
I think all she has to do is join the phone call.
Yes, then yeah, sure.
Jamie, her name's Jamie. But anyways, I was going to ask you. So since I'm like that, I love people, but I've always hated crowds.
Yes.
Do you think maybe that's why I hate crowds, because there's too much energy?
Okay, so yes and no. There's a couple things happening there because I'm somebody who I can tolerate being in the crowd, but I must prepare myself or prep myself for whatever I'm about to do if I know there's highly energetic experiences. Like, so if you go to a stadium or you go to a 4th of July, whatever's happening, right? You know, a park with a bunch of people, or a sporting event, or whatever's happening, right? Or a Christmas party with even just colleagues. That in itself is like another dynamic, right? So,
hang on. I'm sorry. I just want to tell Jamie I'm going to email you the link. 1 second. Keep going, Katrina.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. So, yeah. So whenever like it's okay. So people. Well, the best way to say it would be, I guess, like myself. I can only speak for myself. You know, I don't know everyone's whole like situation, but I know myself. I can handle and tolerate crowds. However, like I don't prefer them all the time. I pick and choose what things I will like participate in. Now, in the past, way back in the day, I would guilt myself into saying, I have to do this. I've got to show up. I've got to go there. I've got to be there because if I'm not there, then this leads to this. And if I don't show up, they're going to think that she doesn't want to be here and she just thinks she's too good for everybody. No. But see, they don't understand. Like, I just have to make sure that I pace myself for that level of like interaction, because sometimes, and this is before, not today, but in the past, I didn't know at that point, right, how to like, I didn't like how I felt inside my body. Okay, that's a better way to say it. Like inside my body, I felt uncomfortable. Naturally, I'm a very shy and reserved person. I know you guys wouldn't think so. Nobody would imagine that. But I'm a very private and very reserved kind of person. Very much so, like 100%. And so even this whole experience.
Isn't that strange for a Scorpio?
No, it depends.
Oh, really?
It depends. It depends because a Scorpio it's the most complex of all the zodiacs, number one. But on the lower realms, they don't even know the difference. The lower Scorpios, like the lower realms, the lower conscious, the ones who are not as evolved as me, there's higher and lower of all zodiac signs. I definitely know, without not coming from ego, but I'm on the higher realm of Scorpio. But that's not often the case for a lot of Scorpios. A lot of Scorpios, their feelings get hurt real fast. They want to make judgments, make assumptions, and they're not going to even think about the bigger picture, which to me shows me they're a lower level Scorpio. That's okay. The world is full of them. Like, they're full of all the zodiac signs. So on the lower realms, they'll be more willing to be like loose, not loose like sexually, that too probably, but more more loose.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Well, can you guys at least appreciate my honesty here as a Scorpio myself?
Oh Lord, that was so funny. And then did you just see what Karma Biatch put? It said, I usually get along with anybody. Since working in retail, my patience with people has run short. I work with Debbie Downer and Sybil, multiple personalities, LOL. Oh my God, I can't believe you said loose in a sexual term.
Loose with their personality, loose with their words, loose with their integrity, loose with their loyalty, and loose with their demeanor. So a higher evolved Scorpio would be more conscious about who they're going to trust, how they're going to respond, who they're going to show them the world as, right? Where a lower level Scorpio, they're all over the board because they don't even know themselves yet. They're too full of so much power in the wrong way. So that's one of the things with all the zodiacs, but especially for Scorpio. Usually Scorpio is one of the more psychic signs, like psychically. Now, it doesn't mean, hold on guys, it doesn't mean that they have the maturity to use it properly. So that could be a negative trait, which obviously gives them the bad reputation of being who they are, because they can use their perceptive, their intuitive, they can use all those abilities to manipulate somebody for their own power, their own pleasure, and they will do it without even thinking twice. On the lower realm, okay, the lower realm, guys. And the higher realm, they have too much integrity. They would never stoop that low. They know better, and they know there's karma, and they know that their power, their gifts are to be used for the highest level. And they know it's transparent. The divine it's so transparent. They would never dare to like dabble on the lower realms. So again, there's a big distinction. You'll know if that Scorpio on the higher plane or on the lower dimension. You'll know immediately. You will always know if that Scorpio is going to bite you so bad, take you out of the game, poison you so badly. Okay, it will take you years to recover. Okay, on a lower level Scorpio. Higher level, no, they're going to support you. Even you can betray them, they're not going to like it, but they're going to forgive you and move forward. Okay.
So, do you ever notice? Because ever since I started studying and looking into signs, and I'm not an expert on it, but ever since I learned that male and female signs are a little bit different than each other.
They are. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are.
Sorry, are you choking? Are you okay?
I was laughing and choking about the Scorpio thing. I'm so sorry. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about what I said loose. I'm so glad. That just sounds so horrible as I thought about it afterward. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds very horrible.
Well,
hello.
So, oh, hi, Jamie.
Hi, beautiful people.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yay. How are you?
Doing?
I'm okay. I'm excited to be on the call.
Oh, yeah. I've never talked to you before.
I know. I've heard your voice. Well, I mean, you've heard mine too, but like not like live.
Yeah, we haven't like exchanged voices.
Yeah, it's so cool. We're exchanging voices.
She always has such a calming voice, huh, Katrina?
I know. Like, she puts my voice to shame.
Oh, stop. No.
So anyway,
wait, I need a sexy voice like Making Lemonade's voice. Okay, I need some tips.
No, your voice is perfect. Spot on.
It is perfect.
So what I was going to say as you were calling in, Jamie, is, you know, when I was in my early 20s, I really got interested in the zodiac signs. And the reason I got interested in them is because I noticed, you know, how when you meet somebody, I always ask them, I'm like, oh, what's your sign? And people would tell me what their sign was. And male and female, I would start to notice like a trend in the way they acted and their mannerisms and the way their body was built. And I'm like, oh my God. And I can almost guess spot on. Back in the day, I can't do it really anymore. I used to be able to look at somebody and they would talk and I'd be like, you're a Leo, aren't you? And I'd be spot on. It's so strange how there's characteristics that trend within the same sign.
It is interesting to me. And I don't know, I feel like, I don't know a lot, and I'm getting to know more about the signs. And I know I'm a Sagittarius, but it's like, I just feel like some of the things are not quite, that they don't like line up, but at the same time, there are some things that do. I don't know. So I'm trying to find that out more.
Maybe it has something to do with like your rising sign or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the stuff I'm like, I'm trying to learn it all. Yeah. It's all interesting.
I looked up mine.
What is it?
And, my Gemini.
No.
I was looking at my, so.
I know all about the Gemini. I know all about the Gemini. I'm sorry, guys, but I do.
I didn't look. I don't remember what my rising sign is, but I got this book, and it told me the year, and since I'm a Gemini and stuff, and I pointed out like the time I was born, and this book has a chart, and it says, right now I'm a Cancer until I transition. When I turn 40, I'm going to be more of a Leo rising than a Cancer, which kind of makes sense because since I've had the Cancer part of it, I feel more like not a hermit, but like I was just telling Katrina, I like to be in my bubble. I like to be by myself. I like people, but I really enjoy just being me and like going through the day and experiencing things, but by myself. And I hope that changes when I'm a Leo, because it kind of affects the way that I treat my friends and stuff. Not that I treat them poorly, but you kind of neglect your relationships when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, and kind of building on what you were saying about, like being an empath and everything. I relate to that because it does get overwhelming, and that's what I'm trying to learn. Like Katrina was saying, to build that shield, because I just feel like a lot of times I just feel like I don't want to leave the house because I'm just like the energy, just everything. I feel it so strongly, and it can be like earth shattering, and you're left with the carnage, emotional carnage. Sorry. So I'm learning how to navigate that, and it's hard.
Sorry, Katrina was stripping over there.
Oh, what?
I was dripping?
Katrina was stripping.
What?
I was dripping?
What?
I don't know, Jamie, if you just missed the part where she was talking about loose, and she's like, not in a sexual way. About it.
No, I loved it. I was trying to get on the call. I was listening. But yes, that was, I was cracking up. I was like, woo! That's hilarious.
I was saying that I was on the higher side of Scorpio. I wasn't saying about me, but I was referring to Scorpio in general.
I know.
Wow.
It's funny.
It is funny. It's funny. I can laugh. It's funny. It really was funny.
So Jamie was calling in. What was that you were saying in the chat? You were calling in to do an interview.
Well, no. Okay. So I don't know. Like, it just, I kind of just do something on my channel, and we just kind of, I don't know how, it just kind of evolved to what it is. And it's just me kind of talking, and I guess it would be kind of a guided visualization, meditation type thing. Just kind of getting zen and just trying to get that, just finding that peace, and sometimes just falling asleep. Like Brian, I put him to sleep and everything. He listens to me. And
well, who's Brian? Who's Brian?
Brian, you know who I'm talking about. No. Say Robbie.
I don't.
Brian St. John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody else. No, I don't know them. I'm sorry, but that's okay.
But yeah, just like that, because I love ASMR type videos myself, and I like the whispering and stuff like that. But I just, people are just saying, that my voice is calming, and like, and so we just kind of talk, and we just kind of have music going. It's very, just calm music, and just kind of talking about just different things. Like we, we'll kind of just do like the closing the eyes, relaxing the muscles, all of that, taking deep breaths, and then we can. No, go ahead.
I had to pause because I had put something in the chat saying if you want us to address your comment, in our chat, to put it in all caps. And Karma Biatch said, "Pay attention to me."
Ooh. Oh, woo! Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I have my computer going because I can't. I got it going so I could see the chat. I can't see it on my phone right now. So, but yeah. So, I mean, it's just kind of been going, and like each time, like they'll just kind of, somebody will mention like a visualization, and it's all about like relaxing. But actually, the last one I did, it had to do with kind of, all the drama that was happening within the community. And, a lot of us have grievances, and just in general with people that hurt us, or, that caused us any pain or suffering. We want to be able to, be like, hey, like, just like, our first reaction is probably to just it's more emotional filled and like not necessarily, the best for us, for ourselves mentally and spiritually, but it doesn't really help the situation. And sometimes you have to sit with those feelings for a while. And especially with YouTube, it's like you kind of have to sit back and you're watching and you can't, they have their videos and they're creating their content. And sometimes you're just like, oh gosh, but you can't really say anything to them in the moment. And so, I was like, okay, we did a visualization of like picturing the people that have wronged you. Like it could be just one, it could be 20, and just visualizing yourself, first of all, going to an island, like, which that might sound a little horrifying, but just going to an island and then being there with them and like having to kind of one by one just visualize a dialogue that you would have with them, what you would say and like how you would say it, and visualize them, responding back to you, and just kind of have this, back and forth, and until you can find a little peace, and then you can move on to the next one, and maybe that can hold you over until you're able to talk to them, in the future or whatever, just helping maybe to find a little peace or something. But anyways, yeah, I was just like, I thought, well, maybe that would be good to bring over sometimes with Katrina, with people, just with different things that might be going on, they want answers to, or they're having trouble finding peace about, or anything like that. Like, kind of maybe seeing if that helped people even more with their journey and with her readings, and then kind of following with that with like you get like a bundled thing. I wanted to see how that would work.
Well, can I just say, like everybody was saying, your voice is so calming, and it is, but you have a very distinctive voice. Even one day, I love Mommy Ramblings, and I was listening, and your name and nothing was up on the screen. It was just your voice. I was like, oh my God, that's making lemonade. But I think it's so funny because, I love like everybody here in this community, but I go to your videos and I laugh so hard because like when you would cuss, like do the really vulgar ones, your voice is so soft and sweet, but you're like saying that for every 2 seconds. I'm not laughing at the content because obviously I love everybody, but I'm like, oh my God, it's so funny that you're cussing with the soft.
I know. I know. That was something like probably the best criticism, that they would be like, oh, this is so funny, but your voice is just too sweet for that. And I'm like, well, thank you. Thank you for that.
And you would think the criticism would be like, oh my God, you're cussing too much. But like sometimes, like I even cuss here and there. Yeah. And when people cuss really vulgar, sometimes even for me, I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. But when I heard yours, I was like, I laughed. This doesn't
like,
fit.
oh, that's so cute.
Like
it's like, oh, that's so cute. No, but actually my mom got on me. Like she was angry at me for making those videos, and she's like, oh my gosh, why are you cussing so much, And I'm like, it's not me, Mom. I'm doing a parody character of this person, and that's how she talked. But then the next one I did was I didn't cuss. I used alternative cuss words, and it worked. Somehow. Yeah.
I did that one time on my Facebook years ago. I said, I'm trying to quit cussing. Yeah. But when I'm in traffic and I'm really mad, I need to figure out something to say. So I said, get your cockadoodie booty out of my way, or I knock you on your Ariana Grande. And it worked out perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think everybody, I don't think driving brings out the best in anybody, really. I mean, I think we're all a different person. Because I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's just weird. Now that you say that, it's like, oof.
And I tried explaining to Katrina when we spoke last time on here on her channel about, because this wasn't a drama community; it was a true crime community.
Right.
And it still is in a sense, but it's not. And there's just some people that get on here to attack just for no reason, just because they're bored. And then there's some people that do it with passion. If you do it with passion, it's a little bit different than if you just all of a sudden say, you know what, I think I'm going to start a channel and I'm going to start with, I'm going to start on this person over here.
Exactly.
And everybody, I think with me, just because I do like to communicate with everybody, and that's why I put my email in my About Me section, and that's why I always stress if somebody has a negative comment or something, okay, email me, let's talk about it. Because there's nothing that can't be talked about.
Exactly.
And I think it's frustrating to people when people don't supply that form of communication with them. And so maybe they do make videos, and maybe that's why you did yours, or there's a reason you did it. There's some people on here, like with me, I truly just, I'm a loving, nice person. Don't piss me off if I'm in the Taco Bell drive-through. But I'm a loving person. So there's like a specific person on here, and I'm not going to name the person's name, just being a total douchebag to me for absolutely no reason.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah, I offered my email to this person. Oh, no, don't. And this person even says in their video, don't message me. Don't put your piece, fuck you, and all this blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well then, you know what? That's not the type of person that I care to reason with, because that's an unreasonable person.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about. And, you know, for me, like, and I'm like you, like, I feel like we're like the people that want to promote peace and, you know, being respectful to each other and having a conversation, having differing ideas and perspectives, but coming together and speaking about it and conveying your message, but not hurting other people or bullying other people or anything like that. And, I also, I mean, I don't know, to tell you the truth, like, I don't know, like, I never thought I would ever do like parody characters. I mean, I was never in theater. I didn't act or anything like that. But I think just from watching these, some of them and just some of the ridiculousness that just comes from their mouths and the way they behave, I was just like, it kind of just organically like came to be. And I was just like, this character came out, and I'm never disrespectful. I'm never, you know, but it's just kind of a way creatively, I guess, to channel that energy, frustration.
Well, the thing is too, with parodies, I used to love Saturday Night Live when it used to be really good.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're going to parody somebody, you got to like get the mannerisms down. You got to do got to cut it down. Like, that was good. Some of these people just slap a filter on their face and all of a sudden call it a parody. It's like, that's not how it works. And plus, you got to be funny. You got to make people laugh. You can't just be mean and talk poorly about this person. I don't know if you listen to Joyce Meyer, you or Katrina.
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, I do.
I love her. And one thing she said to me the other day, and you know who I'm talking about, Jamie, who's making stupid videos of me. I was like, not stressed out about it, but I had just seen something on it, and I just turned it off. And I immediately on Joyce Meyer, and she was talking about gossip. She said, gossip is a form of letting your anger out towards one specific person without confronting that person. And that is so true. If you actually confronted the person and said what was truly wrong and what's disturbing you, you can work it out. And with me, I mean, you could even cut me down and I'll still be your friend. So that's why I always offer that form of communication. But some people, they just don't have it in them to actually talk stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
it is. Exactly. And I think that for me, exactly like you are, I mean, I'm a very, very forgiving person. And like, I will give sometimes I just will give too many chances, but I'm also an advocate. So it's like, I will, and I'm very like, I want to talk things out. I'm a fixer, like, you know, and when I see like, especially what's going on, and that's why like when I do my videos, I don't do gossip. I don't make up lies. I don't do any of that crap, you know, because that is just so negative and wrong. But all I do is like, they're more rigid, like just ridiculous traits or some of the things that they've said, I just do it. And so it's like I'm, almost, you know what I mean? Like I'm not, but I just don't understand people that like make up lies and they spread these vicious, hateful things. And, I mean, it's just, I'm taken back. Like you were saying about, like I have a clone account. I think, yeah, like somebody made a YouTube.
What's a clone account? What does that
or like
mean?
They made an account. Basically, it has like the same kind of profile picture I have of the lemon and stuff, and they called their channel "Making Lemonades." AIDS, yeah. But they changed it after a while to "Making Lemon Cupcakes." Now, and I know I have no doubt that this person is affiliated with Critical K's camp because she is just vicious. Like, I mean, she's attacked. But yet,
I'm not really familiar with her.
Oh gosh, don't even.
But I know what you mean. There's people that it's really disappointing when you come on here and you just try to cheer people up or do whatever. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching that douchebag. Watched one of his, and he was saying things that aren't even. I'm like, where the heck does he just sit around all day and like make stuff up?
Right.
Saying stuff like I went into this guy's channel and was being rude. Never done that in my life. Talking about how one of the main problems he says in every one of his videos, he used to text with Molly Golightly. I still do, and I still talk to her on the phone. She's a nice person. We just had a little falling out was all. And then he talks about Trent Bolt video that I had given Molly Golightly and said I got it illegally. No, my friend was letting him stay on his couch. And he said that to me because he filmed him himself. So like a lot of these things that he's saying, I don't think he's all there because he can't even form a sentence and like actually make sense. So I don't take offense to it. And I wouldn't even if he did. But the problem is if you're coming on here to insult and to hurt people, and that's the only thing that your channel is about, it's not going to be good karma for yourself. You're creating terrible karma for yourself, and it doesn't make you look good. And the people that are following you and agreeing with you are just as bad.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably another reason why when I've seen the subscribers, and a lot of them just kind of have blinders on and they just watch this one YouTuber, and there's such division and they're only hearing information from this YouTuber, and they're just kind of like lost sheep, but yet they'll kind of get sucked into it. And I'm like, whoa, like I'm like you, we look at everything. We like go around and watch everything, and we're more informed. And there's so many people that literally don't, and it's scary. And I think it's very important for people like us to be around so that we can try to shed light on this. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. And I don't know if you saw that one. Did you see when I was on the panel and Molly or Marissa went off on me? And
I didn't see any. I didn't see. You know what I did, Jamie? To be honest, I said this before one time. I stopped anytime I would hear anything about talking about someone else in a live, and I go into everybody's lives.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as I hear that, I either start talking about something else in the chat, and people will be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" Try to change the subject, or I'll talk to other people, or I'll just get out of the room. So I didn't see what you're talking about now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just no. I mean, and I think that's good, because that's probably the only way that you can maintain being like that.
Why? Like I was telling her, I feel other people's energy and their emotions and stuff. Why would I want to do that? I work. I think I say this in every video I make. I work 6 days a week.
Right. Yes, you do.
I don't have time. When in my spare time, I want to listen to Joyce Meyer, and I want to listen to positive things or funny things.
Right.
And I've gotten flack from only that one person I'm telling you about, and a couple other people about, oh, he's a phony. He just wants to spread peace. Yeah. Do you want to know why I do that? Because I used to be a huge dick. I've been to jail twice. I've been a dick to people. I've ruined relationships. I've ruined friendships. And I realized in my 37 years almost, that is not effective. It does not help. You do not act on your emotion. You do not sit there and make a decision based on anger. And you do not do that based on anything. You have to think about what you're about to say out of your mouth before you say it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why and I was even, well, that's one thing Marissa called me. As I said, I was fake. That my peaceful self is not. I'm like, what? I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I'm very, and so it's hard because you just can't please everybody. It's like either they say you're passive aggressive because you're being like calm and reserved and not feeding into anything, or you're just like crazy and unhinged if you're like going off. So you just have to try to be your best self at all times. And
I don't agree with killing people with kindness either. I think that is worse than being mean to somebody. I truly do. You should rather be honest and mean than to add flames to a fire. So there's a difference between killing people with kindness and just being kind and listening. Because a lot of times I have a lot of good friends that it started off that I was like, wow, I do not like this person. When you start to talk and you get to know them and you see different things, you learn different stuff about them and you get to know them. There's Katrina. I was wondering, sorry, I wasn't looking at the video and I'm like, where is she?
I know.
Where did
I'm
you
like,
go?
I had to use the restroom. I had to get my Sprite in the restroom. That's all, guys. I'm still here.
Oh, well, see, I was able to pee while Jamie was talking and I just put her on mute. It put me on mute.
That's great. We didn't know. We were none the way there.
I like this whole no video thing.
Robbie, did you give Antimony the link or no? I wasn't sure. Robbie?
What?
Oh.
I'm sorry, say that again, Katrina?
Did you give Antimony Lane the link for is she still here? I'm not even sure anymore. I saw it earlier if she's still here.
I had asked for her email address.
Oh, then maybe she dropped off. That's okay. If she's still here, provide him your email. If not, then maybe.
If she's still here, can you put your email in the chat?
I do think that.
So sorry.
Say, Robbie, that I just automatically said, I'm like, your name's Robbie, and it's like I automatically get into this. Like I even think of myself. I'm like, yes. Lemonade, yes. I'm like, I just start thinking. It's just so weird how we all if you kind of stop for a minute and you hear all these different names that people say that they are, or their screen name or whatever. It's funny, but it's almost like our second name,
Yeah. Well, a lot of people call me Saving Robbie, and I don't want to be rude, so I don't say it's Save Robbie. So I just let him do whatever.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, you got point.
Yeah, no, and I know that's why, because your channel. Same with mine. It's kind of funny because with yours, it's like you were saying, like you're trying to be a better person. You're trying to save yourself, like save Robbie. And
yes, and a lot of people took that out of context. Like the one person I was talking about saying that, oh, he's on drugs. That's what.
Oh God, that
was 15 years ago. Jerk.
I know.
And but that was part of my issue. And when you recover from drugs, do you know that in my experience so far, it takes the rest of your life to battle it and fight it. And you never stop fighting that stuff and growing and learning stuff about your past. So, there's many reasons I named my channel that, but that was one of them. But Jesus, that was 15 years ago. He needs to shut his
I know. That's just, I don't subscribe to that kind of, I've seen his videos but I don't, that's not parroting. That's maybe commentary, but that's not the same thing. And I don't.
It's called being bored and not having any content, so you just make
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And then there's hateful people
Yeah.
out there that will agree with it. Be like, oh yeah. And then you have a leader. When someone has a channel and then people subscribe to it, all of a sudden you have a leader. So you're going to do, if you're a narrow-minded person, you're going to do exactly what that person does.
Exactly, and that's.
I'm not like that. I've been in Pink's chats. I've been in Molly's. I've been in everyone, and never once have I been like, "Oh my God, they are so right. I'm totally right with this person because of that." I based it on my own experience, and I got so much crap because, truthfully, Trisha, I made a song for her. I had no idea she had so many haters. I got so many mean comments, but still, I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't, because she's been nice to me. I have no idea what she was before, or I'm just getting to know.
Right. And, I mean, like, I think you and I, like I said, we're kind of like the same, and like we're one and the same, because I'm the exact same way as you are. And that's what my concern is kind of just being that kind of watching over, because I do see that, and I see it, especially 3 distinct camps, Molly, we have Laura, we have Perplex, we have Critical K. And
I don't think Katrina, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't even think Katrina knows, because she doesn't engage in this kind of stuff. So we were talking about this last time, me and I think it was when M called in, and Katrina was just kind of sitting there all cute with her cute little face and all happy, and just like she is right now. And she really had no idea what was going on.
Blissfully happy.
Yeah, because she doesn't engage in that stuff.
And that is great, and it's just, unfortunately, for the ones of us that have, we're, it's just a big mess, and we're just trying. And thank God there's people like you that are just, I feel like, are just still like sane and just grounded, and like, because I'm just like, what is happening around me? Like, what is this?
Jamie, and I think Katrina, you could even relate as well. I think everybody in the chat can. There's a difference. I had no idea that there was communities on YouTube, and I used to watch like Jenna Marbles and Joe Santiago or whatever. And then all of a sudden I found Marissa, but her name was Jake's mom, and she had like 500 subscribers. Then we added each other on Facebook, started talking, and then her channel started to grow, and she changed her name and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, it literally felt like I was sucked. People like say they get sucked into the television or whatever. It felt like I was sucked into the YouTube world of like, what the hell is going on? Then all of a sudden you have all these people attacking everyone, and then attacking you. And it's like, I can't understand. And I still don't care. I will never stop telling people to be nice to each other.
Exactly.
And the people that don't, they are the problem. They're the problem. If you're going to continue to talk about somebody, at least have the decency to try to talk to them about it, instead of publicly trying to bash everything about that person.
Exactly. And I think that's really, I didn't know like you had this long, that you kind of, had that, you knew Marissa before everything. But
yeah, I was the one that gave her the Trent Bolt video, and then her channel skyrocketed. And I thought it was great. That's the reason I gave it to her, because she was talking about crime. And my friend Patrick messaged me, and he said, what do you think I should do? This Trent guy is lying. He's at my house. He won't leave. Me and my mom are trying to kick him out. And I was like, wait a minute. Well, what? I was like, you're talking about that dude that's saying he's sleeping with that guy that killed his family? He's like, yes. And he sent me the videos of it. I felt like I should have called the police or something. I'm like, no, it's not illegal, because Trent was on the phone with the interview lady, the news lady, whoever she was. And he was laughing, and just Patrick knew he was lying, and he told me all these lies that Trent was telling him, and just being a total dishonest person. And so I'm like, okay, I know somebody that maybe she knows people, or maybe she could do something with these videos. And I had Marissa's phone number at the time, and I messaged her, and I just said, what do you think of this? And all of a sudden she just was like, where's his picture? Can I put this on my channel? I'm like, I don't know. It's not my video, but sure, whatever. And then all of a sudden it just blew up from there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is so interesting. Like, because I mean, I didn't know all of that. And it's like, she credits the Watts case to her success, but she doesn't credit you per se.
No. Because I told her when I gave her the videos, I said, Marissa,
right. Don't say anything.
Because I didn't have, the only thing I had at that time was my music channel. Please don't say my name, don't say anything. And then eventually, months and months later, she did say my name, and I was like, what the hell is she doing? And then we kind of had a fallout for a little while.
Okay.
But we're better now. We're good.
Yes, and I don't want to interrupt too much, but I want to keep it back on the empath story because I know that.
Yes,
sorry, guys. I'll let you guys go because I don't want to interrupt too much. But you guys were no. Well, number one, can we give Antimony the link for her to call in, and then also. Before I go on to the empath, more details. So can we give her that link, or how do we do it, Robbie? How did you give it to Lemonade or Jamie?
Because Lemonade gave me her email address.
Yeah. He emailed it.
Oh, okay. So how would she give you her email then? Since I don't know how that works.
Here, I'm gonna put my email in the.
I can do it if you want. If you want me to send it, or like, do you want? I can send it if you want me to.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh goodness, I'm trying. Yeah. Oh goodness. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, you sent it to her.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's nice. Like I like this group. I love this group of people, and Katrina, and just like, it's just so calming and filled with love and support. And so I'm just glad that I'm a part of this group.
Yay.
And
because this is the kind of groups that should be on here.
Exactly.
I said this somewhere else, I think earlier today, you cannot be in Katrina's chat without being happy.
Aww.
It's impossible.
Right.
She's just beautiful and happy all the time and spreading peace.
Yes.
She's open-minded and loving and kind, and she never, ever, not one time talks poorly of anybody else, ever.
Right. Exactly. Peace and love. I love it. Yeah, but I'm just, and I'm glad finally to talk to you too, live.
Absolutely.
Because like, I feel like we are both a lot alike, and we definitely, I'd love to expand more on the, empath.
That's what Katrina wants to get back into, and before she disappeared for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
I went to the restroom. I went to the
refreshing her sprite. Refreshing her sprite. I know how that is. The soda, I can't stand it when it starts getting flat. Gotta refresh it.
Yeah, no, I know. Sorry, guys. All right, so
Jays for Justice thought this was a recording.
What?
They thought this was a recording.
Really?
I wasn't probably moving. They're like, maybe she recorded herself. I wasn't moving too much around.
The mannequin.
Okay, so let me check my email if she emailed me.
Yeah, let's make sure that and somebody has that. Jay for Justice. No, it was not a recording. We had Collins call in, and Robbie called in, and then Lemonade called in, and then I think Antimony's next if she's still here and awake. Hopefully she is. We were talking about empath because, whenever we have a lot of the emotional experiences that we're taking in, it's important that we also, not just take in everything, even though, yes, naturally, we don't know that we can decipher and distinguish which things we say, okay, I will allow them to my experience, and which ones we will not allow. So naturally in life, we just take it all in completely, right? And it's so important that over time we learn how to develop and protect ourselves with a little bubble. Like to me, I call it a protective shield, right? A bubble, a shield, so that you can handle the world and whatever's taking place and not allow it to take you out of the game or affect your own energetics. Now, of course, it's easier said than done. It does take some time. So I don't want anyone to think like, oh, it happens like this. It doesn't. It takes time. Like I had a grandmother who was sick for a while. And even as strong as I was in the past, I mean, I've been strong for a long time, but there was a point where even I would feel like couldn't hang out with her. I love her to death. But every single time I gave her all my energy and I would be like left with nothing. I was depleted, even though I went there with intention. And this is already years ago, but of course it does happen, right? And so it's so important to be protected, because if you aren't strong internally and emotionally and you don't have that, it takes some effort and time and practice, okay, building up that layer of protection for yourself. Because if you can't be strong for yourself, there's no way in this world that we can imagine for us to be strong for other people, even if it's loved ones, right? We have to protect ourselves first.
Right.
It's so important to do that. It really, truly is. I promise.
Right. And that's why, so that's why I was like, well, maybe we could, in a little bit, maybe it could be like later on, whatever, maybe we could trying to do like a visual, like kind of a guided visualization thing with you, and like kind of what I do, kind of practicing that, visualizing it, building that shield.
And if you guys want me to get off the line, you could totally do that.
No, no, stay here, Robbie.
Sleep,
yeah, you to be honest.
Start snoring.
Hey, what do you mean?
Oh, okay.
You can stay on here, please. Y'all stay on here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yay!
Yes. There she is.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Yay!
Hey.
Yay.
Yay!
I'm so
Finally
happy!
got your-
Yay! I'm so excited!
I
Yay!
love it. Yay!
Yay!
It's a party.
How's everybody?
I'm so good.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So,
Yeah.
we're talking about still about being an empath.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just heard you, Katrina, talking about your grandmother, and yeah, that's especially when someone's ill and it's someone that you care about. That is a time, I agree with you, when you do need to protect yourself. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. There needs to be you need to set boundaries, I guess is the word that keeps coming up for me when we're in this kind of discussion.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, so obviously there's probably different types of empaths, so they all have to have different types of boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Interesting point.
So what would it be like, I guess? I'm just curious about it. Robbie, walk us through at least what you think it would be like, different kinds. Yeah, I think there's different elements of it.
I can say for myself, what kind of boundaries I have is I really, like, okay, so we were talking earlier about pessimists. And Katrina, you were saying how maybe I should stick around and help them and stuff like that.
I didn't say stick around and help them. I did not really say that.
Well, you were saying something along the lines of, because I said I can't stand being around them, so I have to just go away. And you're like, well, not necessarily, and you're right.
Yes, okay.
I shouldn't always leave, because I've helped a lot of people that have been pessimistic and stuff. So I think there's certain boundaries that you have to set when it comes to exactly what Katrina was talking about earlier. And if it starts affecting your personal life in a negative way and starts damaging yourself, that's when you have to start withdrawing. But some people are stronger than others. So I think that's where the boundaries come in.
Yeah, exactly. And myself, I think I'm more of a person that doesn't have a lot of boundaries in that sense, especially with feeling other people's pain and wanting to like fix them or help them. And so for me, I feel drained all the time, and I probably I make myself just too vulnerable, and I need to learn how to protect myself and my mental well-being, so that I can help better and more effectively and protect myself.
There's something. It's interesting. I was just thinking, and I've mentioned this to a couple of people over the years, that I remember. I just looked it up. I couldn't find a reference to it, but there's this Buddhist, it's like a short story, and it has to do with there's a Buddhist, or a Buddhist in training, and he's walking in a garden or something to that effect, and all of a sudden there's a dog charging at him, barking, teeth bared, and he's suddenly in this position where he has to decide how he's going to deal with this ferocious animal and this ferocious energy, violent energy that's coming right at him. And the Buddhist way is you open up your arms and you take the dog in, because the dog doesn't expect that. And I think what happened in the story was the dog was like, oh, he's not going to attack me, but he's accepting. He's opening his arms toward me. So there's this open-word energy. And so, and I've heard this. I've heard this in self-defense. I took a self-defense class in New York. It was 5 weeks, 5 Saturdays, and that was the way they told us to deal with an intruder. If you found yourself, it was all women in the class, and they said if you have an intruder, find a way to to make the intruder feel welcome, comfortable, slow things down. What Katrina said, breathe, and so that you gain the upper hand is basically, but not for self-protection, not to deceive or to manipulate the situation, but because you're in a position in which you're not safe. And it's all about self-protection, but it's kind of a different way of looking at how to do that, instead of like Robbie, like you were talking about, like avoidance doesn't really quite work, and I think we all know that. And it's like that's why I think that proverb and what I learned in self-defense class is really quite interesting, because it's a very different way, like an out-of-the-box way of looking at it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I've actually heard myself that recently, that if somebody is pointing a gun, or if they're coming with a gun, to have eye contact with them.
Yes, exactly.
Because for some reason, even though like a lot of us will want to cower away and be like, no, but it's like they just feel like most of the time they'd have a hard time staring somebody in the eye and holding a gun up to them. Like it's like a way of psychologically disarming.
Then the question comes in, does the person with the gun have the ability to make eye contact with people?
Right.
Yes, but I think psychically they would know that that's where you're going with it, and that may make them realize that you're not taking any crap from them. You're not going to let them hurt you.
Right. Just like I think with the dog, like with it's like most of the time they're going to think I have a gun. They're not going to really be thinking much more than that, because they're not going to, they just can't, because otherwise, unless they're just a pure psychopath. But, for the most part, it's like we all have something in us that will, strike a chord and hopefully stop most people from doing bad things. But it's like they just assume that they're going to come and attack you and have a gun, and you're just going to react.
Right, it's power over.
Like, no.
Exactly.
And that if you like come and be like, and you have a different approach, and you're like, your eyes are right, and you're making eye contact, and you're like, it's like it just makes them be like, whoa, I'm not excited.
So Jamie, that brings up a good question to ask Katrina, because she would know something about this. Katrina, somebody that's a psychopath, a lot of people say, oh God, this person doesn't have a soul. They don't have a soul. What is the soul of a psychopath? Or somebody who's mentally ill or mentally challenged, what about their soul? Do you have any information on like what that person is thinking in their soul,
That's a good
separated
question.
from their physical body?
That's a question.
Yeah, so when it comes to like mental illness, I can talk about that. As far as like what like a psychopath or a sociopath would, I really don't know if I'm qualified to speak on that. But yes, mental illness does take place. They still have souls. I mean, and I would feel comfortable to say I would imagine that even like a sociopath and a psychopath would have one too, but I believe they're being blinded and completely blocked off from whatever reasons. But again, I cannot speak on those two personas. But people who do have mental illness, whether it's like schizophrenia or bipolar or personality disorders, there's all kinds of like illnesses when it comes to, like the mental illnesses. They still have a soul. I think all human, if you have a body, you have a soul. It does, if you block yourself off to that element, then you keep blocking who you are. Now, sometimes when it comes to any person in the world, if they associate too much with too much darkness and they surround themselves with darkness or negative things, then they are latching and leeching onto the lower frequencies, which will take over your energetics. So also it happens where if somebody's a very weak person, when I say weak, I mean could be mentally unstable or could just be very weak-minded. People who are like, they're normal people with a disability, they are weak-minded and they will be taken down by other forces that are lower vibration and they will latch on. Just like a spiritual soul in your house, or like the guy on the train, they want attention. These neutral people who pass on, but they have not actually went to the other realm. They're still reaching out to the people here. They may not have an agenda to hurt you, but they're going to take over your energetics, which does drain and deplete you. Okay. Which can take you out of your own world, right? So they're going to harness you and leverage you at your own expense, and you have no idea why you feel horrible or ugly or in lower vibrations, or your mind or your mood. All these things take place like that.
Well, and Katrina, the reason I asked that question is because I've always felt, well, since I was about 12 years old, very connected to God. And, in my experience, it's been praying to Jesus Christ, but I also believe that God has come down in other forms. And I truly believe in my heart that that's why there's different religions.
Me too. Oh my God, Robbie, that's exactly what I say. That's exactly what I say, that he comes to you in the form that you can.
Exactly. In any form. I don't think God is, it's almost an insult to say that he's only come down here once. He's so creative, or he, she, whatever. And so the thing is, when people say, and this is why I asked that question, when people say, oh, this person doesn't know about the damnation of hell, so they're going to hell. But what if somebody is born with a mental disability their entire life and they have no way of taking that information in? You mean to tell me these people are going to hell? I don't think so. And don't even get me started on hell.
Oh, me too.
And I don't mean to offend anybody, but my personal relationship with God has been beautiful. And I'm a homosexual. And I'm the most spited out of pretty much all of them in a lot of religions.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. And same here. I grew up Christian, but even myself, even as a young kid, I had these questions, but I've always had that connection and relationship. But, I'm like, well, there's other religions, but I just don't like it when people get narrow-minded like that. And like, they're, specifically, like, there's somebody that I know, he makes Facebook videos about this, and he's just so about the gospel and the good news, and, and I mean, but I'm just, like, I can't even, I'm just like, are you here? What? Like, are you hearing yourself? Like,
well, I think if anybody's smart, they know that when you make a bad decision, it usually comes back around, whether it's right away or long ways down the road. It's almost like, when something bad happens to me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense because maybe I made this decision or this poor choice. And I don't know, is it antimony or antimony?
You know what's interesting? I've decided it was antimony originally.
Antimony.
But I like antimone. I actually like that better. Yeah.
Well, I would like to hear yours and Katrina's take on the vision or your perception of what hell might mean. Because to me, I've suffered on earth from my poor decisions, and I feel like that's hell to me. But
I agree.
Everybody has their own take on it.
I agree with that. I think that hell is, it's interesting. I have a friend who actually said that he feels that hell is apathy, is the absence of feeling at all. The absence of God. I don't care. I don't know that feeling. That's like, I don't care. I don't care one way or the other. That's to him. That's what hell is, and I thought that was really quite amazing. And I agree. Robbie, I agree that suffering personally, again, psychically, emotionally, physically, all the ways there unfortunately are to suffer as a human being, and not be able to find your way out, and to be trapped there. I feel that's hell.
Yeah,
not feeling that there are any answers.
If you listen to, and a lot of people will say, well, this Bible's right, this one. I look at them as a cookbook, and recipes work for different people, different ways, and some people are allergic to certain ingredients. And to me, if you make this decision, I don't ever feel like God is hateful. He's saying, don't do this, it's not going to be good for you. But when you do make a bad decision, and you do have a poor consequence along with it, you learn from it. You truly do. And some people, it takes many times to make the same mistake. So I feel like that is what hell is, exactly what Antimone just said. It's when you're stuck and you feel feelingless. You feel emotionless, because without God, it's like our lifeline is gone, in my opinion.
Right. And and I mean, like, for me too, it's like, well, I'll tell you my take on it, but also, like with the extreme, Christians, and like I said, because I like I said, I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, but they take it to a level, and they talk about God like this wrathful God. He's full of wrath, and we're unclean, and we deserve nothing, and like and it's like, and I mean, and it's like, that's not, to me, I mean, like, why would God create human life just to be there and be like, you know what, you pissed me off like a long, long time ago. One of your ancestors did, because they didn't listen to me, and you're going to pay for it, And it's like,
I don't feel like we're in some sort of boot camp being trained for something bigger. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm being trained.
Yeah, and like, quite frankly, and I've had this thought a lot, like, really, I think hell is here. I mean, hell is like earth. Like, hell is here, and heaven,
everlasting burning ball of fire. And what's
it's in life. I mean, during life, not after life.
Exactly, because I mean, like Robbie was saying, we pay, like, we make mistakes, we suffer, and that's a part of growth. But why would there be more? Why? I mean, like, and I'm not saying there are certain people, like, like, that are evil, that who knows? I mean, maybe there's a special place for them, but I mean, overall though, I just feel like life, I mean, we get thrown one thing after another, and it's hard, and some people get it even worse, but it all adds up to, with these decisions that we make, the consequences, we have to deal with them. Sometimes they're short, and we get, we like learn a lesson. Sometimes it takes us a while, but it's painful, and but ultimately we are striving to be our best selves, and we are trying to live for God, and in the end we get to be, heaven is the ultimate. you got through this life, here's your
well, you remember the Alanis Morissette song, thank you consequence.
Exactly.
Consequence is beautiful if you embrace it. no pain, no gain. It's beautiful. It helps you. It's not a punishment. It helps.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good thing to remind, because then, like, right now, like, I'm going through a divorce, so it's like I feel like I'm being punished, and I'm like, in the pain that I feel, I'm like, I'm not going to heal, and I'm not going to be whole again, and I don't understand why this is happening, and I'm sure, like, down the line, I'm sure I'll, like, hindsight, but right now I'm just like, I don't understand.
Right.
But I can see other things in the past where I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, this needed to happen, and I was on a path that wasn't good, and it was, so
well,
it's
you're
just
smart enough to see that too.
Yeah, like,
right on. Yeah,
being able to connect those, and so it's just sometimes, and again, there are things like with that we just don't understand, like what happened with the Watts case. There is no understanding or no good reason for that kind of stuff to happen.
Well, and I got to say something about that now that you brought that up. And a lot of people have a lot of different views on this, but to me, I'm a very forgiving person because I feel in my life God has been forgiving to me no matter what I've done. And that's how I got over my drug problem a long time ago, is because consequences helped me. So when people say, oh, Chris Watts says he's found God, oh, he's going to hell, I'm sorry, but I completely disagree with that. I believe that everybody at some point, and if it takes a huge mistake as far as annihilating your entire family, you still have the opportunity of forgiveness. Nobody is left out of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. I think now it's, unfortunately, it's just what happens is they find, quote unquote, they find God, and I don't know. I mean, I hope and I pray that that's the case, because it takes a truly disturbed and evil person to do something like that. I mean, it just does.
Well, you know how many people I hurt? I didn't hurt myself. I mean, maybe physically when I had a drug problem, I hurt everybody around me, and it took me getting down on my knees in a motel room by myself and saying, God, I don't know how to fix this. People are calling me crying and I'm not answering the phone. I'm ignoring them. They think I'm dead because I've been gone for 4 days and not responded. I need your help. And it took me getting to that point of I ruined everything to find God. So I can't understand the murder part because I've never done that. But maybe it takes something that horrible to finally find God.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, but before he made a statement, he didn't have any relationship with God or anything like that. And I feel like, it's one thing for us to learn lessons, but we have our eyes on God, and we have to kind of have the growing pains. But I don't believe that God would allow a family to be annihilated just to have a relationship with Chris Watts, So it's kind of like one of those things where you start getting into the really specifics, and then it starts getting, then it starts getting to where, oh no, like what, like it's not just so black and white. But at the end of the day, I think we are all capable of being forgived, having that grace. And I hope that everybody gets that, but it's just, we could probably talk forever trying to dissect all these different things that happen, and understanding how that comes into play with God or anything. But it's just, it's definitely one of those things where it's just that question mark. But I think it's great that even for me, like, I'm very forgiving and very optimistic, but I find your optimism refreshing for myself too, because just the fact that you're able to say that even about Chris, I'm not really able to say,
I'll say it about Charles Manson. I'll say it about anybody, and people disagree with me, but I have been to the deepest, darkest pits of my life, and I have felt like I've been in hell, and I've always been brought back up because I put my faith in my higher power and to help. I couldn't control what I was doing. I couldn't. I needed guidance and help. And sometimes it takes you making that final huge mistake to finally find that.
No, Robbie, I'm so glad that you found your recovery and that you're doing well, and you bottomed out. Dude, you bottomed out, but you crawled out of it, and good for you, man. I'm like really happy to hear that. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I literally crawled out of it on my hands and knees in a little cheap, probably bed bug infested motel.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, man.
Yeah.
So you know what? Even though I was in that drug state of mind, there was a Bible in the drawer of that motel room.
Well, of course there were. But the Gideons, right? The Gideon Bible.
Yeah, it was the Holy Bible. I went out and I grabbed it, and I was completely buck naked in a lust-filled, really, in a lust-filled rage. And I said, I need you to stop this lust. And lust, to me, when people say don't have lust, don't do this, you can be attracted to people and find them sexually attractive. But when it starts destroying your life and everybody around you, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think
Katrina and I were talking about lust when I called in last week, right, Katrina? Remember?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we had a different view on it because she's never experienced it the way that I did.
But that's cool.
That's
cool, though.
That was
makes it more interesting to hear everybody's different experience,
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I know, Robbie, I remember watching a video of yours where you were talking, because I also deal with chronic pain myself, and similar with the situation with doctors and everything, and just that is a whole other, that'll be another, conversation.
That's really hard. It's hard.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It is, and I think we could definitely help other people sharing our stories. But I just remember you having a video where you were talking about just feeling like sometimes you're like screaming out to God, and you just feel like they're just ignoring you, and that's how I felt for a while. And it almost feels like you're like, let me just put it like in a visually, like let's just say that you had a child and you were seeing them physically being attacked, right? And like they're calling out to you, and you're just standing there, and they're like, please help me. And you're just standing there, and you're watching them get, like just attacked. And it's like, that's how I kind of feel. Like, I just feel spiritually, I've never felt so under attack before, just because of where I'm at, going through the divorce and just being so vulnerable, and in a, just emotionally, just a very dark, place. And just, but I'm still like, I just feel like sometimes I'm like, I'm trying to call, I'm like praying, I'm like, hello, like, is anybody there? Because I'm like, I've been on my knees, I'm like, please help me, like, please, I'm calling out, and so I'm just saying, I've been there, and I understand. So how do you get through that, or how have you got through that, like feeling so disconnected from God but still having the faith?
Well, with me currently, like you were just saying, I was speaking about that. I feel like I truly haven't heard from God in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I used to pray for signs, and I used to pray, God, lead the way. And it would automatically, instantaneously, I would know, I'm like, there it is. And I haven't felt that in a long time. But I also cussed God out very badly. And I was very mad one day years ago, and just leave me alone. Go F yourself, and just screamed at him. because he's my best friend. Like he made I wasn't hearing from him. And I have a feeling, like they speak about in the Holy Bible, the desert phase. I feel like I'm in my desert phase and I'm still learning. I know he's there. And the reason, to answer your question, Jamie, the reason I can get through that, even though I'm not hearing from him, is because of all of the times in the past that he reminded me he's there. I remember those times very clearly, so I hang on to those. And that's why.
Really interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. That's the reason I keep believing in him, is because people call it the devil or evil or whatever you want to. I don't know what it is, but there is something that tries to distract us all from doing the right thing.
Yeah, like I was saying, growing up, Christian, I always heard people be like, "Oh, the enemy's attacking. The enemy is attacking," and like, or not today, Satan, or whatever. And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, let's chill out a little bit." Like I don't know about all that, but I can honestly say, like, in the past 6 months with all this happening, I have literally felt under attack on a spiritual level. And it's just like down to like the most like silliest scenarios, but like just giving an example, because already I'm going through all this and I'm just in a horrible, all of that is just horribly just earth shattering and negative and everything. But then it's like I'll have situations where, like one night I had to meet my oldest son's father for a visit, and it's on the rougher side of town. And I forgot that I was on empty, and I got my purse, but I didn't grab my wallet for some reason. I don't know why it was out of my purse. And I also live on a military installation, so I have to have my military ID to get back on post. So not only did I get stranded in a bad side of town with 2 of my children, with literally and on top of that, luckily my mom was in town, but her phone was dead. And my daughter, who has type 1 diabetes, her phone was dead, because we use that to be able to look at her blood sugar real time. And I could not get a hold of my mom. And I'm like stranded, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So it's like situations like that keep occurring, like testing me and putting me through even worse. And I'm just like, why? I'm like, why is this?
Why me? Why not that person?
Well, I don't want it to happen to anybody, and I think it's just sometimes you just are like, I don't know. Like I honestly I'm not a mean person, and I'm just like, why do I, and I see other people that are not so nice, that they seem to be thriving or whatever, but I'm just like going through this desert season,
So to Antimone and Katrina, what are your feelings on like the idea of Satan? Do you think it's more a subconscious version of our evil self inside, or what's your take on it?
Katrina, you haven't spoken for a while, so do you want to?
Yeah.
No, go first. I'm here to support everyone. So I speak for hours upon hours, guys. So
I think she's
she's getting a break.
I think she's like, take the wheel right now. We're just gonna chill, and we're gonna, I think she does every night for hours. So
yeah. And Tiffany, why don't you go tell us about your thoughts, then I will chime in for sure.
Okay. So personally, I just to give a little bit of my own background, I did not grow up with any religion. Religion for me, I not religion, but I guess my own spirituality I really found through music and nature. And to me, my church was going outside and surrounding myself with trees and hearing the birds and feeling like a kind of a oneness with the earth. Mm-hmm. So it's a little more like I always related to American Indian spirituality. And it's interesting because last night I think Katrina had brought up animal totems, And what, if you were an animal, what animal do you think you would be? And I find a lot of, personally, I've found a lot of comfort and wisdom through animal energy. But music for me has always been a very, very spiritual place. I play a lot of different instruments, and being on stage in an orchestra and feeling, the music not just coming through you, but through 100 other people at the same time is just like, holy cow. So for me, that's kind of what I grew up with, like kind of an artistic slant on. I found faith in those things. And for me personally, I feel that like figures like Satan are they're human constructs, they're ideas, and Satan is red. Red is associated with anger and even fear and raw feelings. Excuse me. I've been having a couple too many cigarettes and drinking a lot of coffee.
It's fine.
I don't believe that there is a actual being that you meet after death. I believe that it's something that we create to try to understand what happens once our spirit leaves the body that we know as ourself. That's very frightening.
Totally agree with that.
To think about,
exactly.
What am I when I don't exist anymore? I mean, that to me is really,
right.
I'm
wow, that's very.
I'm in my mid 40s, and I'm kind of questioning that on a different level than I did when I was a kid, because
absolutely,
my father already passed. My mom is in her mid 70s, and she's starting to look at, she's in her twilight years, and she's starting to look at life and death differently. A lot of my family members have passed on, and it's like, oh my God, where are they? And I have to say this: my cat died yesterday.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, this is a creature I spent 15 years with. Where is he? Where is he? Where is my mom? Where's my little kitty? And I mean, it's a cat, but it's like, but that is a life that I shared. He was my close, my confidant, and he is no longer. I can't access him in the way that I did before. Now, whether or not I can still access him, I think that is something that for me, it's an open question. I'm more open to questioning that than I have been in the past. But so I just feel that that especially figures like the negative energy figures that it's we've created that in order to try to come up with answers to the unanswerable. So that's where I come from. So there's.
And Simone, I completely agree with that, because I've always asked God, since I've been communicating with him since I was younger, to show me if there's some evil force, or show me if there's an everlasting hell, and I've never ever gotten like that. So I almost feel
that's interesting.
Torch a piece of coal to turn it into a diamond. I feel like that's what we are here. We're being torched. There's a lot of pain to turn us into the diamonds that we're meant to be.
Nice.
And I believe in past lives. So I don't believe that just this life is going to be our end all be all. Maybe we didn't learn everything we needed to learn. And I feel like we blueprint everything before we come here. So I feel like there's a design to everything. And that's why when a lot of people say, well, why does this bad stuff happen to young children or to innocent people? Well, those innocent people, we don't know their lives. So we don't know the choices they made and stuff. And I'm not knocking them down, but, we just see.
You're talking about karma then, right?
Well, yeah, with Hinduism
and choices. And with children, I feel like God looks at that differently than if you're wiser and you make poor decisions. So I'm not saying children ever deserve to be hurt or anything, but I truly believe there's a reason for everything. And I believe that maybe before we come here, we map out like, okay, this is what I want to feel when I go down there and I feel something. And that's what I believe when people ask, why do tragedies happen? Well, maybe that person mapped it out so that they could feel what it was like.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
There's no answer. not at least not right now.
Nope.
No. But and really like Antimone, like you're like what you were just talking about, just like I really like, you know, I really that what I want to try to say, like I really I'm like lacking, you know, I haven't slept, so it's like my words.
Oh, I haven't either. You're fine.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you start, you may not feel it, but I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but there's a rule on YouTube now that when you say like every 2 seconds, you have to slap yourself in the face.
Oh, yes. I saw that. I was like, whoa, I need to do that. Well, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just said like. I'm like, really? Okay. I've been trying to
Where's
become a lot.
Katrina?
I'm here.
I know.
I'm here.
Okay, I don't want to be, I feel like we're being rude, but we're still having a good
No.
conversation. But Katrina, what are your thoughts?
Well, mine are a little bit different, but I don't want to take away from it because I think that
No, we want to hear them.
I know,
Yes.
but I think but I do talk about them like all the time, so I feel that, you know.
I think I'm really catching a vibe from her that she's really just really liking this. You know, she's
Well,
really
see, if we're all bona fide empaths, then we're proving it, right? Because we're all concerned about her.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, are you okay?
Are
We're
you
just
okay?
making sure. Are you okay? Okay.
Right.
And Antimone, I don't know if you have a channel or not, but you should because your vibe is so. I gotta subscribe. You just got this laid back, really cool. I would love to have like a conversation with you just on the phone.
Yeah, like
Sure.
intellectual, like very intellectual. Like I'm just like, wow. Like
thank you.
And really, because I also with the with the Native American beliefs and stuff, I feel that that's very much the raw, like, you know, connection with life and higher being, but just being seeing how life is so interconnected and being so just like you said in nature. But that's also interesting because a lot of times in Christianity, when they're like, well, that question is, well, what about the people that, you know, never knew Christianity or like, you know, were born in.
What about the Buddhists? What about Buddhist people or
Exactly.
They
That's what I'm saying.
in that. And if they say Jesus Christ is the end all be all, so
exactly.
you don't believe that. But these other people in other religions, they lead their lives to do good things. They believe in that. So it's like, why would they be spited? That doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly. And I've felt that way since I was a child. And
or even atheist people that believe in doing good. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, atheists just technically don't believe in God, correct? I mean, isn't that the actual definition of atheists does not
and
believe
I'm like,
in?
And I know a lot of good atheist people. They're good people. They just
I'm technically atheist. I'm spiritual. I don't believe in the God that. Well, see, the thing is, I don't believe in this particular, say, manifestation of the energy that you're talking about. But I do feel I know the energy that you're talking about.
Oh my God! Wait a minute.
You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. I'm just kidding. Hold on. Ooh, hold on. I'm having some kind of like.
I am too. So after you speak,
hold on.
I gotta say something.
Okay. Whoa. Like it's kind of. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. So how you were saying, or just a minute ago, how you were, I think, Antimone, like you were saying, because Robbie was asking about Satan or like an evil thing. And y'all were talking about how basically, or maybe you too, Robbie, that it's almost like the darkest version of ourselves, right?
Yes.
That what we are capable of doing, the evil. Okay. But then it's like at the same time with the whole thing about the different religions and how, and I felt this intrinsically since I was young, because there's different religions and we are all unique individuals, and we all have, our minds are all kind of, we you know what I mean? So I feel like God can come in the form that is best suited to us. So again, the mirror thing, like, you know what I mean? Like how we
What's the
are,
mirror
and how,
thing?
well, like you were saying, well, I think Robbie said that about like the evil, like the whole thing about the, is there a Satan, is there whatever, and kind of looking at it like, okay, within ourselves, more like it's our, like you were saying, it's a way of us understanding why evil things happen, or why people are capable of doing this, that, and the other. And it's just the way we're built. There, you know, there has to be, like, there's a hierarchy of power, and there's somebody to answer to, right? And then, but if
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, and it's almost a slap in the face to God to say that all of God's knowledge can be fit into one tiny little book. God's knowledge can go beyond the universe. Can you imagine if there was an actual book written on the actual beautiful higher power being of God? It wouldn't be able to, probably wouldn't even be able to read it. It would just...
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it'd be like an unspoken feeling, and maybe that's what we feel at death, is that unspoken, like, I get it. I get it now. Words can't explain it.
Well, it's almost
Exactly.
Like, I almost feel like you're describing ecstasy. That's really interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
One can only hope, right? That it'll
Yeah,
be like
really.
that.
Exactly.
One can only hope.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. So my cat was only sick for about a week, and he died with my boyfriend and I petting him. We're pretty sure he had like congestive heart failure, and I mean, we were seeing all the stages of him breaking down and collapsing to the floor and gasping for breath. And I said out loud to him, because we have these discussions all the time. I said, why does crossing over to the, you know, how they say energy doesn't stop, it just changes form. And, you know, that would give valid argument to that there is life after death. And I think about that a lot. And I was like, you know, I think that's actually scientifically proven, you know, in physics, and specifically physics, that energy, something to that effect. Somebody should Google that. But like, I was like, why does crossing over or going to that next place, why does there have to be so much pain involved? Why can't it be like, dude, I'm going to the Bahamas, I'm going on vacation, I got my bags packed, I got new outfits, I'm like there, man, I'm so excited. Why can't it be like that? Why does there have to be this suffering? And I think, you know, like, I don't have an answer for that. It just, when I saw him, I'm like, do you have like an idea? Like, I'd love to hear.
Absolutely. Yeah, I truly do. I feel, and I know that there's people that suffer. Like, I just found out tonight before I called in on this call.
Yeah, you said.
A good friend that grew up in the neighborhood I grew up in, she was a mom of one of my good friends, passed away. She'd been fighting cancer for years.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah, they knew it was going to happen. But it happened
still
at 4 p.m. yesterday. And I feel like, yes, there's pain. I feel pain right now in my back, just because I'm a bus driver. You know, we feel pain and stuff like that. But I feel like in that moment of death, the reason I feel like there's no pain in death is, there was this one time I was at a party, and this guy, we were in the basement, and we were doing shots, and he goes, let's wrestle. And I looked at him, and he's a big muscular guy. I was like, dude, do you see this body? You're going to take me down. So we start wrestling. All of a sudden, I feel like I slept for probably 12 hours. I wake up, nobody's in the basement anymore. There were so many people in the basement, and all of a sudden they're gone. I walk upstairs, and there's 4 people huddled in the kitchen. And they're like, oh my God, he's dead. What are we going to do with this body? I was like, whoa.
What?
Wow.
I was like,
God.
what the hell are you guys talking about? They're like, we thought he killed you. And I was like, what the hell happened? He had choked me out. He choked me.
Oh, wow.
But I felt nothing. I felt there was no pain. There was no nothing. I was like, So I feel like in that moment of death, you know, when people say, oh, I saw a loved one, or I saw an angel, or this, I feel like in that final moment of death, I truly feel that there's nothing. You just go. Even though people on the outside see it as pain, I feel like it's a more beautiful experience than that.
Now, I will say that I know, like, there was a she's, I don't know if you heard of her. She's passed away now, but she had cystic fibrosis. Her name was like Claire something, and she's pretty.
William.
Yes. Did you ever watch her videos? Because she has died, or well, she has finally, rest in peace, but no, but she had died physically before, been pronounced and been brought back. And she described how excruciatingly painful it was, that every cell in your body fights it, right? And that's to be expected. But here's a thing to think about too. When we do equate pain with growth, right?
Correct.
Right? And
right.
Why wouldn't, if growth, the ultimate growth is to be taken onto another, plane and to treat, like, why wouldn't you think that it would be probably the worst excruciating pain, but you come out of it as
I just got the chills. It just got the chills.
You know
That's
what I mean?
really, really beautiful. I almost got close to tears. That's really, really beautiful.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you for that. That's amazing.
But thank you. Thank you. This has just been it's a beautiful. I love this kind of like conversation and energy.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's just amazing, and it's just and like Robbie and I were talking about, it's like it is really sad when you see so many people just being so narrow-minded and shut down. Because I feel like it really just negativity and anger derives from that, not peace or growth. But no, I mean, like, it really, and Robbie was the one that was kind of like saying about pain earlier too, is just, it can be like we all kind of think of it in a negative way, like, why is this happening? Why am I having to go through this? Why? But in the end, you're a different person. You are a more enlightened person. You are wiser. And the ultimate pain to me would be crossing over and becoming that, spiritual being
That's
that
really
we
awesome.
have lived all our lives to become. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's really Trisha here. She just posted Katrina's video.
What?
Huh?
Truthfully,
I can't. Oh yeah. I can't see the chat right now, so I'm just kind of
me neither.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like.
No, I don't think she's in the chat, but she posted Katrina's video.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, but no, like and Timon, like, I was really, like I said, I was really when you were talking about, and also I was gonna say, when people look at the Bible and they question, like, well, because if with Christianity, if that's the only way, there's only one way to heaven or one way to God, like, then what happens to all the others that maybe like you were not born in a religious family, didn't have any relation, or the people that were born in another country and they grew up like Buddhist or like Hindu or any of that, like, what happens? Like, how do they know that God exists? And he does. I mean, in the Bible, it does state that you look around and you see me in everything that is me, like nature, like everything. Like, you should know just by connecting or being out in the world that I am there, that somehow intrinsically, like, and for you to say that you found that really even just through your own, like, you weren't like given a Bible, or you weren't like forced to go to church as a kid or whatever.
Forced.
Or, you know, like sometimes, you know,
I know.
we gotta go, you know.
Right.
But as you know, as a kid, but like you were able to find it like in the like in nature and music, which I love music. I love singing. I love, and and like I said, God can come through music. It can come through nature. He like, or I say he, it's just a, you know, pronoun, but it's
I
like,
understand.
this is, you know, but we cannot wrap our minds around it because we only see like third dimensional, you know, like it's a dimension that we're unable to wrap our minds around and incapable until we, you know, reach that when we become, when we cross over. But, and also another thing, that you were talking about, like all of the different Bibles, Robbie, but even the different versions of the Holy Bible, and the translations, and just even the different books of the other religions. Really, I'm like, I wonder sometimes if that isn't all, because we can't all process it. But what if like that is all His word? Like, what if that is just like, but it's all, you know what I mean? But we can't put it all together at one time. But if we did, I think if we really did, I think it's what God would really want, with that harmony, and then we'd actually be even more enlightened and like understanding. But we don't. We like put divisions between the religions, and we stop certain things, and I think like it's here. It's like right here, and we just, I don't know. Like we allow like our human nature to come in the way too much, and
Exactly.
create these unnecessary barriers.
Well, like the thing is, it's, you know, it's weird. It's, you know how they say that human beings we're at the top of the totem pole as far as evolution, and I almost think it's the opposite. I think we're at the bottom. I mean, I watch, like, I don't know actually now what's going on. There's this pair of eagles, and I actually showed it on one of my lives. In Washington, D.C., there's a pair of eagles that comes to the same, bald eagles, that come to the same nest every single year, and it's the same pair, and they have cameras installed on two separate places on the tree, and they stream it in HD, like 24/7. And for 2 years, I watched them raise like 4 eaglets from, you know, and it's like, I watch them and I'm like, they're so much smarter and wiser, and like, because they don't have reason. That's what we do. We reason. And in a lot of ways, I think our reason is our undoing, because we're not, we can use reason for good, or we can use reason toward another end. And I think that right now, I mean, personally, I just think we're using it toward another end. And we're not being intelligent. We're not really, we're not maximizing our potential, and we're not really helping each other. I think we're really hurting each other more than helping each other. And, you know, but I watch these animals, and they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. And nothing gets in the way of that. Why? Because they don't have to think. They just act. They just carry out what what their DNA and their instinct is telling them to do, and they do it all perfectly. Even if an eaglet, say, doesn't make it, it's no big deal. It's just the way it is. But we have, I think, because we that gets in our way of being able to, and I think that's our challenge as a species. If you look at human beings as a species, which we are, because we're animals, you know, I think our challenge is to use reason for good, and still know that we could take an easier way out, but not take that easier way out.
Oh yeah,
I hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Like it's funny because literally, like we have a little nest on our back porch, and it's just so weird that you're bringing this up because that's exactly, I mean, I love animals, but I love watching these two birds. They're in the pair. They're in a pair, and to see them take, like build a nest
It's
from
amazing.
nothing, just from
Yeah.
their little beaks going
No.
back and forth, and it's
hands.
exactly, and it's this
Oh my
beautiful,
God.
intricate, beautiful design that I'm like,
It's a piece of
wow,
work. It's
it
artwork.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm in awe, and I'm just like, and I've been able to just watch this beautiful, thing happen, and just like, and I'm seeing the babies have hatched, and seeing them, work all day to feed them, bring them, work together, and then now I'm seeing the babies begin to learn how to fly, and
I know.
seeing the parents like
Oh my God.
teaching them, and it's like it just is so beautiful to me, and to me that's everything. Like that,
Yes.
to me, I'm just
Yes.
like, that is the ultimate, because
Mhm.
they are just doing what they're supposed to do, and again,
Exactly.
like last year, in the front porch, we had a pair that had built a beautiful nest, but unfortunately, the babies did not make it because ants.
Oh wow.
And it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible, and I was like, just so sad. But then it was like I was so excited this year. I was like, yay! And I've been documenting it. I'm sure, like on my
cool.
on Instagram. I have them. Like I've been.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, like I'll check in on the babies every day, and they're just like, but it's just, and again, it's like, yeah, they just continue on, and not that they don't feel a pain, and not that they don't.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, and even with the one, and now I actually have a pair that's in the front now. They actually took, because the nest from last year slowly eroded away, but then another set came and built upon that.
So yeah, exactly.
And then, but the other day I was like, I could hear them. They were getting all, they were mad at something, they were swooping down, and they were doing it. And I was like, what is it? And it was a squirrel. And I didn't realize that squirrels eat birds or eat like eggs. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I came out there, I was like, get out of here, but it was just, but they will fight, they will try to protect, but at the end of the day, it's a circle of life, and they have such a natural appreciation, and I don't know, like they just submission to nature and just the circle of life that
they're living with the earth instead of against it.
Yes, exactly. They live with the earth and instead of against it. Yes, exactly.
Hey, you guys, do you want to continue this conversation? Because Katrina, I was asking her, I was like, quiet, she's really tired, so she has.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, come on, girl.
I don't know how to do Zoom on my channel, or I would switch it over. I don't know.
Thank you
you guys have Zoom channel?
For inviting us to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel like very privileged that you asked us.
Yeah,
to
me
do
too.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
I promise.
And I'm just, I'm hoping that we.
I hope it was somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, or like it helps people in any way, and I'm, just that might be having the same questions or feelings. But yeah, definitely. Oh.
Yeah, we're good. Is she
Thank
there?
you all.
Is she there?
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Where did she go? Okay.
I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, okay. Sorry, my daughters are.
That's okay.
In the chat, I'm like, say something.
I was just more. I was up all night till the morning yesterday, so I got a little bit more sleepy. That's all, guys. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you should have said something.
No, I was enjoying the conversation. I was really happy. I was enjoying it. I promise. I really loved it. I really, really, really loved it.
Cool.
It's very beautiful.
Thank
very
you
beautiful.
so much, Katrina. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
So what do? Do we just hang up?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Text it. Oops.
And I'm going to subscribe to you.
Okay. Awesome. I'm already subscribed to you and both of you.
Yes. Same here.
I love you, Katrina. Thank you
We
for
love
having
you.
I love you guys.
We love you.
too.
Yeah, you rock.
I
Get
love
some
you guys.
good rest.
Yes.
Aw.
Yes.
All right, guys.
All right,
I love you
It
guys.
was really
Love you.
great talking to you guys.
Yes. I mean, it was amazing.
Cool.
Really
Well,
cool.
have a good morning.
Yes.
All right,
Sorry,
guys.
the toilet's flushing.
Love you guys.
Bye.
All right, I'll leave first.
Okay. Okay.
Have a good morning, you guys.
You too.